2017 Bradley Open. Mike Flanagan here with you, joined by J.R. Raymond and Dave Wodka. And gentlemen, we're down to the final 8 bowlers. And getting started here, we have lanes 19 and 20. And we've also got lanes 29 and 30 as featured pairs. Take you through the matchups. We've got right here up on your screen on lanes 19 and 20, we've got Steve Novak taking on Justin Knowles. I'm sorry, Novak's taking on Brian Dennis. JR, you get to see Steve Novak bowl quite a bit. What do you think about Steve's game?
He's short. No, I mean Steve's solid. I mean he's getting better and better. I used to rag on him all the time because he used to like and just go beat up on all these kids in league patterns and stuff like that. And now I think he's out to prove me wrong for the most part. And he's been doing really well over the last couple of years now and getting better and better, winning a couple Eagles and he's actually putting the time in now. I don't think he's working full time, and he just got engaged and moved out of Michigan, which probably was the best thing for him. Now he can focus a little bit more on bowling and do the things he's good at.
Yeah, he moved down to Louisville a couple months ago now.
Yeah.
He's taking on Brian Dennis.
Hey, my wifey's watching. Hi, wifey.
Dennis leaves the 9 pin.
Spare start there.
Here on lanes 29 and 30, we do have Chris Hester, and he's
with the wall shot on. Kyle Mayberry led for much of this tournament.
His look was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
I crossed with him last night, and I mean, he throws it really, really good. He threw pins everywhere.
Had a little bit of a struggle game 5 today, and Graham Fogg got around him. But once again, all pins are dropped now, and you just got to win your match.
Our other matchups, Dave, in the top 8 here, who do we have?
We've got Jeff Fair against Graham Fogg down on 15 and 16. And then Kyle Troop against Justin Knowles here on 25 and 26. Justin Knowles with a big 255 the last game to jump in. He was way out. Got himself back in there. And I would imagine that gives you a little bit of confidence when you bowl a big game like that to jump into the cut. Definitely boosts your confidence. You know, you're 40, 50 pins out of the cut going in the last game. You bowl a big game, and here you are, still bowling the tournament. The goal is always to be bowling in the last game of the tournament.
Yeah, and how many times do you see it where, you know, a guy sneaks in, going into that last game, he sneaks himself in and ends up winning the tournament?
Yeah, especially in this format where you know, it's elimination matches, no pins carrying over. Once you get into the top 8, this is anybody's game.
Novak looks pretty good there. Pretty solid.
And we're going to get our first look at Kyle Mayberry here. Both he and Chris Hester on strike spare to start the game. And pretty good shot there. Like you liked that one all the way. We'll get our first look at Kyle Troop.
Yeah, a little bonus coverage here.
Ball just did not turn over at all. Same thing with Steve Novak. We saw Steve Novak make all kinds of crazy stuff this week, so he's going to need to make the 2-4-6-10 now. Chris Hester looking to keep pace with Kyle Mayberry, and a good shot there to do it.
Good count.
No luck on that one.
Talked about Steve Novak. This was from earlier today in qualifying. Look at this split right here.
The 1-4-6-10.
Wait, what? 1-4.
Yeah, he made the 1-4-6-10 earlier.
Oh, he tripped out the 2-pin
Yeah.
late to make it weird. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Brian Dennis with a great shot there for a blower 7.
I've seen a lot of those this week.
Yeah, that's an aggravating thing, too. When the lanes are so hard and you throw it that good, and that's just an aggravating thing, especially. This format, in the round of 8, it's a best 2 out of 3. You win, you move on. You lose, you're eliminated. Stephen Allen, Brandon Novak made the cut to the round of 40, bowled this morning, struggled a little bit this morning, so he has been eliminated. We will have no three-peat.
He is human.
Brandon winning the last 2 years, of course. Also, the bowlers are competing for a nice prize fund, $10,000 for first, $5,000 for second. The third and fourth semi-finishers will receive $2,500 each, and then the bowlers that do not advance from this particular round will each receive $1,250. A little side note, I'm giving away an InsideBowling.com Open tournament entry. And the way I'm giving that away is the highest averaging person that does not advance from this round is going to get that entry.
Well, that's baloney.
Thanks for that, Mike.
How come I can't be in on that? I want a free entry.
And if you've never bowled the IB Open, you should come on out and check it out. It's a great event. Once again, Inside Bowling puts on a fantastic live stream all week, puts on a fantastic event. Mike, you and your crew do great there. Yeah, almost.
Give her a good run at that 2-8-10.
Yeah, we just missed over on a off-camera pair at the moment. We just missed a run at making a 2-8-10. These pins flying around a little bit. I actually saw the Greek church made 5 times this weekend.
I made the 7-10 once.
Yeah, these pins flew around quite a bit.
They are twisters, yeah.
They do fly. They just usually fly in the wrong direction.
Right. Mike, you were just told you should give a free entry to your YouTube commentators.
Yeah, I'll do that from my cardboard box.
And a little messenger on the 10 for Steve Novak.
Might have that again for you. There it is.
Did you do any poll questions today?
No poll questions today. We were calling the action pretty fast and furious, and then got on a Mitch Beasley kick.
Yeah, we had Mitch Beasley, 2 of them in the booth earlier.
2 Mitch Beasleys?
We did. We had 2 Mitch Beasleys.
Nice. How'd you pull that off?
Well, it wasn't very easy, JR, but we did manage a way to get me bookended out here. You guys enjoy the rest of your broadcast, okay?
Thanks, Mitch.
Appreciate you stopping by again.
Yeah, it was my pleasure.
Let's see. We're about halfway through game 1. We'll get you a quick update. Chris Hester with a 13-pin lead right now. And Justin Knowles up by about 25. Steve Novak with a 14-pin lead. And looks like Graham Fa with a 15-pin lead. About halfway through game 1.
It's good to see Chris Hester out here making a finals. I know he's been battling a lot of health issues. I know he's got a lot of fans in the chat. Good to see Chris out here competing.
Yes, absolutely.
Doing well.
Glad to see him being able to do what he loves. He's been bowling very good lately. He's been competitive in a lot of events, a lot of the local events that he's been to. Great shot by Brian Dennis there. See if he can put a double up on the board in the next frame. Russell, I will find out for you what Hester is throwing.
Let me see if I can see
It appears to be a game breaker 2.
It's a dark bowling ball.
But I don't know that for sure. I will get that for you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a game breaker, too. It looks like it.
That's a good answer right there. Says Wodka, what's Hester throwing?
Strikes.
Strikes.
Yeah.
I like it.
So Chris got up there, got a double. Now has a 23-pin lead in that match. And Justin Knowles with an open to now make it just a 9-pin match with Kyle Troop. Brian Dennis put his double up to get within 4. Give you a little split screen action there. Steve Novak almost tripped out the 2-8.
That's what we go to when the bowlers are on the approach at the exact same time.
Apparently, Hester's throwing a mission unknown.
Really?
That's what somebody in the chat said. That's very possible.
Spare?
We're going to go find out for
Spare.
sure on that one. Now look at Justin Knowles. Through the face. And that's a little bit of what, like I talked about earlier in the broadcast, Mike, you know, you think 46 feet, you think longer pattern, there's going to be some hold, and there just isn't. There's just not a lot of hold, even with the long pattern. We're going to find out right here. So it is a mission unknown. We have confirmed that. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate the update and the help there. Richie Wayne, this is a best 2 out of 3. No, not total pinfall. And Brian Dennis looking to go up in the match here now. Can take a 7-pin lead with this strike. And a 4-pin. I believe Brian Dennis and Jeff Fair, the only 2 remaining previous Bradley Open champions.
That's what I see. If this was Monday Night Football, Chris Hester's little face would pop up and he'd say, Chris Hester, Moorhead State.
That's right. You got to start doing that. You got to get those little clips. That'd be cool.
That would be actually really cool.
Get Carrie Underwood to come out here.
And a little crumbler there.
Mike Flanagan, the School of Hard Knocks.
You kill me. Unbelievable.
The School of Hard Knocks. Oh, Chris.
Chris did not like that one, and he got away with it.
Clean living.
Little break for a 4-bagger. Takes a pretty big lead there with just a couple frames to go in that game. And Steve Novak with a clutch double. Now goes up by 14 in his game. Kyle Mayberry pretty much needs to strike out here. And that's a good start.
Yeah, he's not out of it yet.
Nope. Can still bowl 216. Chris Hester in the 220s pace right now. And Novak with a pitch out there.
Every once in a while, you need to lean on it a little bit. No confusion here. Brandon Novak has won the last 2 years of this tournament. This is Steve Novak, and they are not related, although they are friends.
And I don't think Steve liked that shot, so he's going to have to make that spare to remain up in the match. Will be an 11-pin game and almost a good break by Kyle Mayberry there, but he leaves the 7-pin. And Novak misses the spare. So that's actually going to give Brian Dennis the lead by 1 pin and a chance to get up now and shut out Steve Novak in game 1.
Rather interesting. It wasn't even close either, as I see the replay here, or the screen that's well behind for us.
Yeah, that's what the viewers at home get to see. We're on about a 5-second delay, just in case one of us lets a word out. Actually, we can't bleep it or fix that. It's just we're a little delayed.
What word is that?
You put me on the spot with that.
Give me an example.
I don't have one offhand. Farfignugan.
Farfignugan?
Yeah.
Romspringer.
Chris Hester really just needs to stay behind the foul line to win this game 1. Take a 1-0 lead. Brian Dennis with a 3-6.
That's going to give Steve a chance.
It is. Steve's
8 spare strike gives him 187.
Yep.
Steve can strike out for 188.
So no matter what now, Steve Novak will have a chance to get up and throw all 3 in the 10th to win.
This ain't a gimme spare either. Not on something like this. Unless you're Brian Dennis.
Yeah. Made it no problem.
I mean, I would have missed it.
Well, we watched
Obviously.
Friday night. We know.
I would have hit the 7-pin in the face.
Justin Knowles, that was for a double.
Hey, I had 1 open last night for 4 over. One
That's
open.
Pretty good.
That is the definition of grind. That's a big Brooklyn, though.
It is a big Brooklyn. So Steve Novak's going to need all 3 in the 10th to win by 1 pin.
He did strike last time on this lane. So Chris Hester takes a 1-game lead.
Yeah, let's see if I can get an update on the... Graham Fa is up by 13 pins in the 8th frame. Both he and Jeff Fair have a strike in the 8th. And Jeff Fair's getting up in the 9th right now. So we'll keep an eye on that match as well. And great shot by Steve Novak in the Shaker 7. So Brian Dennis is going to take a 1-0 lead in that match.
Dennis posted 187.
Steve Novak has a max of 178.
That will be the first match completed.
How about Brian Robinson, though, going from one-handed, has wrist issues, switches to two-handed, and almost found his way in the top 8.
Yeah, we were talking about him during the round of 40 there.
I didn't know it was wrist related.
Yeah, he had some pretty bad injury going on that forced him to do some different things. I don't know the details of it. I just know he said he couldn't bowl one-handed anymore because, I mean, if anybody's ever actually seen his ball roll when he throws it one-handed, it is fairly unique. Right. He gets his wrist and hand totally into it, not on the inside, and he does some crazy motion at the very bottom that I can only imagine can't feel good after so many games of doing it.
Do want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. We've got over 500 people watching right now, and I did see the comment in here, "We are not blood related," from Forrest Gump.
Mike, I got to tell you, I am expecting you to have that whole song written by the time you come on for the Fusion Realtors.
Okay. The Garth Brooks bowling version. It was "Blame It All on My Balls. I crossed with Tom Smalls." Do you remember that part of it?
Yeah, that was the first part. So Chris Hester finishes with 239 this game, and
terrible game.
That is by far and away, well, maybe not the highest game, but Justin Knowles possibly 240 still.
Did we catch Novak's score?
He got 7 on the fill, so 175. Graham Fa is going to win game 1 against Jeff Fair. He just spared in the 10th to shut him out.
Justin Knowles looks good. This is a young kid, too. Young two-hander, left-hander. Putting some work in. Shoots 250 to get in. Now he's got a chance to win the first game here.
Right. Graham Fa finished with 214 in game 1.
So barring some crazy mishap here, Justin will win the first game.
And Kyle Mayberry is going to finish with 186. Steve Novak looks a little lost right now. He's missed a head pin a couple times. Looks like he's getting a little frustrated. He's amping it up a little bit, and that's the last thing you can do.
That has always been his, I guess, Achilles heel, as he does get a little quick. I mean, he already starts at the very back of the approach, and he's 5'3", sprinting to the line.
Great spare there on the washout to remain clean.
Did we see what he had down there against Hester?
186.
Hester defeats Mayberry 239, 186.
Now, when Steve doesn't keep those first couple steps a little bit slower, he's in trouble. He gets way too far ahead of it.
Did we see what Jeff Fair's still up, right?
He's still up. He can shoot 191 with a strike on his fill ball.
Okay.
I'll get you that score in just a second. Chris Hester's looking awfully good right now.
Yeah, he is.
Just throwing it good. Got a good look. Got good ball reaction.
Roll 3-pin for Justin. So he's going to shoot 240 and win his match fairly easily. Troop can throw all three in the 10th for 200 on the nose, but his opponent's going to shoot 240 here with strike on the fill here. Justin Knowles will shoot 242.
Jeff Fair had 190. So Graham Fa wins game 1, 214 to 190 in that match. And 239 for Justin Knowles. Again, we'll take a 1-0 lead over Kyle Troop.
Stephen Allen, you forgot the O in front of your K.
Easy grammar, please.
No, I always yell at my wife for that. If she responds with just K, I get so mad about it. Because I never know if it's with attitude or not.
We saw Steve Novak there with a big 4, and you know, a little overcompensation for the last couple being out the window, and that's what can happen on this pattern. You get a little off, and you know, you don't have to throw it real bad for it to be 6. So an open frame for Steve Novak after Brian Dennis had opened in the second frame. Steve now gives the lead right back to Brian. We'll get a look at Kyle Troop in the 10th frame, maybe trying a different ball, trying to figure something out. His opponent's pretty lined up. Good spare there by Kyle Mayberry. Chris Hester going to get up and look to take an early lead with an early triple. Final score for Kyle Troop of 190 in game 1.
So just to recap game number 1, it was Fa over Fair, 214 to 190. Dennis over Novak, 187 to 175. Knowles, 239 over Troop's 190. And Hester, 239 over Mayberry's 186.
Brian Dennis double to increase a lead there.
So going to take a 17-pin lead early in game 2.
This is game number 2 of a possible 3. You got to win 2 matches, 2 out of 3. I like that format too because it's not a one-game match where you're just out.
Right.
You have to lose. You know, you have to lose twice.
Shout out to John Conroy in the chat. Thanks, John. Hope the recovery's going well. Ooh, great shot by Brian Dennis there for a ring 10.
You know, and if I'm Steve right now and I see that ring 10 after a double, I'm counting that as a break.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
looking at that as a break, and I'm saying, okay, time to
Kept me in the match.
Yep, time to do something here. I either need to make a change, or I just need to refocus and start making good shots. One or the other.
I'm gonna make a change.
And here we go.
For once in my life, gonna feel real good. Gonna make a ball change. Gonna use my time.
I think this is kind of an important shot for Steve Novak there also.
Yeah, and I think he's
After
more or
the
less
break.
he's opted to get his head out of his butt and hopefully make a good shot rather than change balls.
Yeah.
So,
See Chris Hester, and great shot by Hester.
and that's
there,
exactly what he
there
did.
we go.
He just
Catch
made a
Novak at the end there with a great shot for the double to get
great
himself
shot.
Here's
back
both
within
of
6
them.
pins.
1, 2.
That's great replay right there.
We do have this camera here in front of the booth, trying to keep an eye on the Troop Knowles match as well. Currently right now, when we need someone up to bowl, we don't have anybody up to bowl. They're all going to get up at the same time.
I'm mad at Kyle. Cut his hair. He did say, he's like, you know, the last year,
Ooh.
it's been all about my hair, and I kind of want it to be about my bowling. So I don't blame him there.
Yeah,
You know.
he's got a good point.
Great shot.
And that was 2 great shots by Steve Novak there to actually go and take the lead. So,
It's like I read his mind.
like you said there, you know, you treat that as a good break with Brian Dennis leaving the ring 10, and then you get up there and take advantage of it.
As he steps off, well, who wants to go? Maybe here.
You know, it's kind of funny after you start kind of studying yourself and studying the mental game a little bit more, you start to see those things. You start to see little things that are benefits, you know, advantages,
Right.
ways you have to think about things in order to be able to step up and do the job, you know.
And then if you see, you know, Brian, right there, Brian Dennis gets up after Steve gets up and throws the double.
Yeah.
Brian Dennis had the bad break with a ring 10, then gets up and throws a bad shot for a Greek church. And
Yeah,
Steve went from down 15 to up 20 in 2 frames.
yeah.
Stephen Allen, Afro, less fish.
Good shot by Troop. Starts 9 spare strike, game 2.
Kyle Mayberry and Chris Hester still both clean, no doubles in that game 2 yet. And Graham Faw off to a quick start in game 2 with the front 3. Jeff Fair with strike spare, and now shooting what looks to be a 4-pin. And he makes that. So Jeff clean through 3, Graham Faw with the front 3.
This is a big shot for Brian if he wants any chance to win this game. He needs to really step up and make a good shot here.
And he
He
did.
does there.
High flush.
So he's got to do something to kind of creep his way back into Steve's mind a little bit and let him know he's not going away.
Hester looking for a double.
Uh-oh,
He didn't like that one.
No, he did not.
That looks like a pretty good break getting 9 out of that because he did not like that one.
Novak better grow some height or his turning is over. Oh, I love the short jokes. Just like the old jokes. Old and short, those are the best. Fortunately for Steve, unfortunately for Steve, he's going to be both here pretty soon.
Right. And Steve leaves the 2-4.
Pretty good break not leaving the 10-pin with it.
Right. Hester covers his spare, no problem. Still clean through 4 frames with a 3-pin lead.
Oh, boy.
And Justin Knowles just missed a 7-pin in frame 2. Kyle Troop with an early lead, very early on in that match. But again, you know, when we had the real Mitch Beasley in the booth earlier, we were talking, and we talked about 1-pin spares, and when the lanes are like this, how important those are.
And I'm Mitch Beasley, and I'm the real Beasley.
Hester did not like that one. Out the window for a 1-3-6.
Will the real Mitch Beasley please stand up?
Great shot,
Novak with another great shot. Got a 19-pin lead. However, Brian Dennis now has a chance to get up and throw strikes in the 8th and 9th to take a 1-pin lead.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
But that strike by Novak there is a pretty good statement. I mean, that puts a little bit of thought into Dennis's mind.
Of course.
If Steve doesn't strike there, now all of a sudden, Dennis's confidence goes up a little bit more, knowing that he can pretty much take a decent lead if he does.
Right.
If he does throw next couple strikes. So either way, I mean, you're focusing on throwing those strikes, but so that's a solid shot right there. But that strike by Novak actually keeps him ahead by 9.
So Brian Dennis now getting up in the 9th frame with a chance to take the lead by 1 pin.
No, he doesn't. It only gets him to 160 in the 8th. Novak still would have been up by 9, even if he would have struck there. Yeah. If they both sheeted, Novak has 229, and Dennis would have shot 220.
Right, but he would have been up by 1 because Novak hadn't rolled the 9th frame yet. But either way, he washed out and an open frame in the 9th, and so looks like we're going to get to a 3rd game in that match. Steve Novak just going to need to get a couple marks here.
Big shot here for Kyle Mayberry. Chance to double.
And he does. Takes a 10-pin lead.
Kyle Troop, 3-6-10.
No problem.
That was dramatic by you. I like that. Steve just needs to not give it away here.
Give it away now.
Get the 10 out?
Yeah, he got pretty lucky there to only leave a 2-pin.
Yeah, you don't want to shoot at a 2-8 right now.
No.
It's not a fun
Or
spare.
ever.
Or, yeah, really. No kidding. Shooting a 2-8 was always fun on the old Bradley pattern.
It's a great comeback shot there by Chris Hester after missing the head pin in the last frame. Now with a chance to get up and tie the match up again. So Steve Novak's going to need a mark in the 10th. Actually, good count in the 10th will be enough to shut out Brian Dennis this game.
I'm going to make a prediction that Kyle Troop is going to pick this 210.
Your prediction was wrong. I'll give you a quick update on the Graham Fa Jeff Fair match. Graham got off to a quick start with 4-bagger and 9 spare. Jeff Fair with strike spare now has changed balls and thrown a 3-bagger. So just a 10-pin match going on down there this game.
So Steve strikes first ball in the 10th. That's going to take that match to 1-1, and they're going to bowl a 3rd game for all the beans.
And they are bowling circles around everybody else.
Yeah, well, Steve's a little quick little guy.
It must be a Novak thing.
It is a Novak thing.
Last year, in the round of 4, Brandon's match, both matches went 3 games, and Brandon's match finished 8 frames ahead of the other one.
It's a great shot by Justin Knowles there. And get that lead back after Troop's 210 missed. Steve changed balls to try something in the 10th, just to see what it gives him.
And that's a benefit of having a big lead going into the 10th frame and shutting out your opponent before you get the second shot.
Yep.
It gives you a chance to try something a little different because your total pins don't matter. So it doesn't matter if you strike there.
It's a good question. Why is this tournament called the Bradley? Do we know?
Yes. We did not tell the story this year, but there is a gentleman in this area who dedicated himself to bowling the USBC, running tournaments and things like that over the years, kind of like a pioneer for bowling, someone that everyone loved with the last name of Bradley. So they named the tournament after him.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a plaque hanging somewhere in here.
There is, I believe it's up behind the desk.
I want to say it was William Bradley, but we should have that.
So a 199 final score for Steve Novak in game 2. Jeff Fair just had a chance to take the lead in that second game against Graham Fa and left a solid 9. Terrible break. And 172 final for Brian Dennis.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the Novak-Dennis game, the last game, is going to be ugly.
Neither one of them is extremely lined up.
They're not comfortable at
Nope.
all.
And Kyle Mayberry, with the open in the 8th frame, has given a little extra life here to Chris Hester, who now can get up and strike in the 8th and 9th to take the lead in game 2. Just down by 5 pins at the moment.
Here we go. First shot of game number 3, the rubber match between Novak and Dennis.
And Troop is not a happy camper. He looks like he's having little foot issues.
Good start by Steve Novak
All
there.
right.
We're going to get over here to Chris Hester.
He's trying to
Make me look
go
like a fool.
2-0.
Great shot in the 8th frame. So once again now, Chris Hester is going to get up in the 9th frame of game 2 with a chance to take a 5-pin lead on Kyle Mayberry. And if Chris Hester can win this game 2, that match will be over.
Even Steven, lanes 19 and 20. Take you over to the painter.
Kyle Troop down by 2 pins. We don't have a scoreboard on that one. Justin Knowles lead by 2 pins through 5 frames. Kyle looked like he actually liked that shot, and it just never hooked. Take a look at Chris Hester to take the lead. He looks like he likes it. Great shot by Chris Hester.
Bingo.
Could see that one right off his hand. He knew he liked it.
Kablammy.
So a 5-pin lead now. So set up the situation there. Kyle Mayberry can strike out for 222 if he strikes out in the 9th and 10th. Cannot shut out Chris Hester. By Chris striking in the 9th, he has the hammer going into the 10th and controls his own destiny to move on.
I see what you did there.
Did you see that?
The hammer.
Special shout out to Hammer for the sponsorship and New Center Consulting.
A little turn of events down there in the Graham Fa match, too. After the bad break by Jeff Fair, he made a bad shot in the 8th, but did get a spare out of it. Now Graham Fa with a 3-6-7-9 in the 8th frame, without a conversion, would actually give the lead to Jeff Fair.
So Kyle Mayberry strikes in the 9th.
Still a 5-pin game into the 10th frame. So whatever Kyle Mayberry does in the 10th, Chris Hester will have to do to win.
Oh, boy. Novak almost threw that one in the gutter.
The 1-2-5-9.
It's an elusive little creature.
Yeah, we don't see that one very often. It's an important shot of the match for Kyle Mayberry. trying to extend this game for this match, and a Greek church.
That is not what the doctor ordered.
Again, without a conversion here, Chris Hester really is just going to need to stay behind the foul line in the 10th to move on. A great spare by Steve Novak there. I'm pretty sure he doesn't practice that one very much.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say no. But then again, Steve's another one of those guys who doesn't practice very much. He goes and he bowls league just about every night of the week that he can, and he calls that practice, which for him, I guess that works.
It works, yeah. Everybody's a little different. We had a conversation about practice in the chat earlier because it's pretty widely known that I tend to practice on house patterns because it's all about rhythm and timing for me, and that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's hard for me to get in a rhythm going and practicing where my ball never hits the pocket.
Right. Yeah, sometimes it's just about seeing your ball do the right thing.
Right.
Just get your ball to go through the pins properly.
Right, and that's what we talked about. Chris Hester has now officially shut out that match, and we'll move on to the round of 4.
Bang.
.186, 184 for Mayberry, the 2 scores. So that's an average of 185.
Quick math
and
there.
A loss.
Didn't even need a calculator for that one.
Nope.
I'm shocked. My wife would have pulled one out.
I'm sure she appreciates that.
I'm sure she does.
She's sure if she's listening, she appreciates that.
Yeah, she's probably kicking me in her mind right now. MFing me right now. She doesn't like math. It's not her strong suit. I always make fun of her for it. It's awesome. She gets so mad and worked up. And then I sleep on the couch.
So first little chink in that Brian Dennis match with a 6-7 by Brian.
Justin Knowles made that 3-9 look easy. And it's not an easy spare on this.
Chris Hester with a 205 final score for that game.
So Hester wins 2-0, sweeps Mr. Mayberry.
There we go. Troop through one that he actually really liked.
Got a great game 2 down there going into the 10th frame. Graham Faw 176 in the 8th and a spare in the 9th. Jeff Fair 174 in the 8th and a spare in the 9th. So a really close game there. Jeff Fair has to win this game or that match will be over as well. A little quick for Steve
on
again.
that one.
And Kyle did not like that shot again.
I didn't think Kyle had any chance of throwing a strike there, and the reason why I say that is I was watching my preview screen here. He and Novak, he kept waiting. He was on the approach set, ready to go, and he was waiting for Novak to deliver the ball before he would go. I would have totally stepped off and reset on that. Kyle knows his game and what he's comfortable with doing, and I certainly don't know what Kyle's comfortable doing, but that just didn't look good. Something just felt odd there.
You should get that looked at.
Knowles is up. He bowled 239 the first game over Troop's 190. So Troop on the ropes here.
Yeah, does have a 7-pin lead in this game. And Jeff Fair struck the first ball in the 10th. So he will have to strike the second ball in the 10th in order to force Graham Faw to get a double to close out that match. And Novak with another good break, not leaving the 10 with it. So just a 2-pin. I think right now going through Novak's head is probably just need to stay clean. Mary asked what my take on lefties to the righties is.
Yeah, one throws left-handed, one throws right-handed.
Yeah. We actually have 4 lefties and 4 righties in the round of 8. I really don't think this pattern favored any one style. They're so hard. You got to bowl good. Whether you're right-handed, left-handed, two-handed, it just didn't really matter. I don't think it favored anybody one way or the other. The people that bowled the best are the people that are still bowling.
Neither side was locked out.
Ryan Dennis with a big double there to take the lead.
He didn't take the lead yet.
He will with this one. I foresee the future.
So, quick look at Justin Knowles, who absolutely has to start striking here, or they're going to go to a game 3.
Justin needs to change balls.
So Jeff Fair did not get the second hit in the 10th. He has 214. Graham Faw has 176 and a spare in the 9th. So Graham Faw will need 9 spare strike to shut out that match and move on to the round of 4.
Well, I put the black cloud on Dennis.
And Graham Faw with a beautiful strike. He will need 9 pins on 2 balls now to shut out Jeff Fair.
And Jeff Fair bowling 190 and 214. That is a 202 average.
Oh.
Ryan Dennis almost picked off the 710 out of that. I think Degnier came out and got the 7-pin.
Kyle Troop getting up with a 20-pin lead, getting up in the 9th frame. And a solid 9 on a great shot. Graham Faw got 9 on his next shot, so he will be moving on to the round of 4. Greg Short asked where Brandon Novak finished this morning.
Finished 20.
Too much time in the booth.
Comes with age.
That's an interesting miss by Novak.
Yeah, that kept that match really close after Brian Dennis split. Novak chops the 2-4-5, and just a 6-pin match there in Game 3. 216 final score for Graham Faw.
You know, and that's not an easy thing to do either, the way he chopped that. That's so hard to do.
No. Agreed.
I mean, it's done more often than you think, but...
So Faw advances 214 to 190 and 216 to 214 over Jeff Fair. Jeff Fair is going to take home the IB Open free entry.
Steve's looking to give this thing away right now. Washout right there. He just does not look comfortable. He doesn't know where he wants to go.
A little ball change for Kyle Troop there after shutting out that match. So that match is going to go to a Game 3. And it will be our only match here in a second, because the Novak-Brian Dennis match will be over in about 5 minutes. Oh, and he wrapped the washout around. So another open frame. Brian Dennis with a 5-pin lead now.
It's kind of brutal.
Well, and you said before that game started that you thought that game was going to be messy, based on how they both finished.
I'm still holding my opinion. Just a 2-pin for Brian. Pretty good break there, not leaving the 210. Let's see if Justin will actually change balls and throw something different. Nope, he's going to throw that same ball and just move right a little bit. That ball looked pretty good.
And he did. So Brian Dennis cleans up his 2-pin. Still with a 5-pin advantage.
So Hester is in, and Graham Faw is in. What do those two players have in common?
They are both left-handed. There was a lefty guaranteed to win the Hester-Mayberry match.
Yeah, that was interesting. So we had a lefty-righty match, a righty-righty, a lefty-lefty, and a two-hander.
Yeah, those were our matches. Great shot by Steve Novak there.
Big ball change right there.
This is a really important shot in the 9th frame now. Steve's got to strike here to set this up and put the pressure right back on Brian Dennis. So 191 for Troop in game 2 and 161 for Knowles. So on to game 3 there. And we'll have most of that game here for you very shortly.
If I'm Steve's coach right now, I'm telling him to step back, take a little bit more time on this one because of his tendency to get really, really fast.
And
he is.
He's actually doing that. He's waiting for Kyle to go this time. And Kyle got that one out the window a little bit. So here we go. Very important shot in the 9th frame for Steve Novak.
Yeah.
And
he was
church.
Screaming, push, 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 and it wasn't going to push.
And that, I think that just comes from all those shots he threw that were out the window, the washouts. And
like, I'm almost willing to bet he was telling himself, don't throw it right, don't throw it right. And anytime you tell yourself what not to do, you end up either doing the complete opposite and over-exaggerating, or you end up throwing it right because you're training your mind. And it's just it's a bad habit. So now he's going to need a little bit of help here from Brian.
Yep. Steve Novak with 140 in the 9th. Brian Dennis on 179 pace. And a 2-5. Certainly not an easy spare.
So Troop's first frame, he washes out, 6-count washout, and makes it in the 3rd game. Justin Knowles with a late messenger on the 7.
So Brian Dennis is going to need a mark in the 10th. If he opens in the 10th, then he would give Steve Novak a chance to get up and double.
Oh, man, there's a message deleted that I didn't get to see. Dang it. I always like seeing those ones before they get deleted. Darn it.
It was just a guy that was ripping on bowling, and it was going to continue to spin out of control. I see those things coming.
Ripping on bowling. Yeah, that never happens.
Yeah.
And that'll make things interesting.
3, 6, 9, 10. Widely known as the most difficult spare.
I don't know. I mean,
that's not a split. I mean,
no, I know. I mean, I mean, the 3, 6, 10 alone is pretty much unmakeable for me. But then again, Friday night, everything was unmakeable for me.
The 2-pin was unmakeable for you Friday.
So do you shoot this left or right with a straight ball?
I think on this pattern, you have to, because you cannot count on your ball hooking in that part of the lane down the lane. You have to just throw it straight at it and try to jam them all back into the corner.
And that's what he's going to do too.
And
he missed it. So that's giving him a chance.
So 164.
Yeah.
Here's that shot again. You can just see how difficult this spare is.
And just a fraction more to the right, and he makes that.
Right. So we're going to watch Steve Novak in the 10th here. He needs a double and 5 to advance to the round of 4.
And it is on the lane that he struck on last, but I said that last time. And that didn't go too well.
Anything less than that, and Brian Dennis will be moving on to face Graham Faw.
Good shot, flat 10.
Flat 10, and I was wrong about that, actually. Brian Dennis is going to move on and face Chris Hester. So I apologize about that. Kyle Troop with another washout. Steve Novak, 149. And Brian Dennis, again, will move on to face Chris Hester in the round of 4.
So how was my prediction on that match? That
Yeah.
last game there being messy.
Yeah, they had a grand total of 313 between the two of them. And Kyle Troop with an open on that washout. Justin Knowles on a double is going to get up in the 3rd frame and try to take a pretty big lead early in this game 3.
That is interesting when we were talking about YouTube and whatnot there. It's hard to
fathom that.
It's hard to think about people getting that many viewers and whatnot. But it makes me like it's almost like a challenge. Like it makes me want to start a YouTube channel and see what I can do with it. Come up with some cool material. Doesn't have to all be bowling related, you know, just everything, life in general, and just keep moving forward. I think that would be really cool. Give you something to do. It's just the editing of it that takes so much time. I don't have any dang time, so.
No, neither do I. We got 524 people watching right now. I want to shout out to all of them. Thank you for
you just said that and it went to 522. Way to go.
Yeah, way to go.
You scared them off.
Thanks for spending your day with us today. Justin Knowles getting up here on a double.
Dave, you want to start a YouTube channel with me? It'd be fun.
Yeah, be awesome.
Yeah.
And a great shot by Justin Knowles.
So he's going to take a pretty good lead here with three frames in.
Our producer there gave us a second camera angle for this match to finish it out. So nice work by Mr. Flanagan.
Bazinga.
Justin Knowles with the front 3. Kyle Troop with spare strike open. And this is a winner advances, loser goes home this game. We'll take a look at Justin Knowles getting up for looking for the front 4. Oh, and he gets a very lucky break, rolling the 3-pin for the front 4. So things going Justin Knowles' way to start this game. Now the winner of this game is going to move on to face Graham Faw in the round of 4. And that's a lot of 9 by Kyle. Kyle's a little bit lost right now. Kind of needs to regroup himself. This match is far from over. We can see what happens. Even if you've got the front 4 or front 5 on this pattern, we've seen it all week where somebody still only bowls 2-0 or 190 even. And Kyle's certainly not out of the wood yet.
Yeah, maybe speeding up the pace of play will throw his opponent off a little bit because they've been bowling pretty deliberate. They're the last pair to get done.
Right. And even with the Novak-Dennis match going 3 games, they finished 7 frames ahead of this match. And another 9 count. And Kyle's just a little off right now. But still, again, time to regroup. Kyle still has 235 in the wood. He's got to make this spare, sit down, regroup, and try to get up and make a couple good shots on his next 2 attempts, and hope for a little reprieve from Justin Knowles here.
So did you say it's going to be Hester and Dennis?
Yes. Be Hester and Dennis, and then Graham Fa against the winner of the Justin Knowles Kyle Troop match. Justin Knowles looking for the front 5. And another great shot. Trying to put this match away early. So we're going to watch Justin Knowles get up here on the front 5, looking for the front 6, and really almost to put this match away very early.
He barely made it into this top 8.
Yeah, we talked about that at the beginning.
Yeah, the 250 game.
258 or 255 to get in. And that looks like a pretty good shot. And the messenger for the front 6. And honestly, we haven't seen very many 6-baggers today, or all weekend for that matter. Kyle up very quick.
That's a pretty good shot.
It was a good shot. Kyle max in the at 224 right now. Justin Knowles at 240 pace. So it's not looking very good for Kyle.
Dave, how do you so quickly come up with 240 pace out of that?
He's got a 6-bagger, so if he went spare strike the rest of the way, he would be in the 240s.
And if you have a 5-bagger and you go spare strike the rest of the way, are you in the 230s?
Yes.
If you start with a 4-bagger and you go
220s.
7-bagger, 250s. 8-bagger, 260s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy math to figure out the pace part of it.
That's a pro tip at home. I don't think I've ever explained that on the air. I thought you'd be the right guy to do that.
Now, obviously, there's difference between pace and max score. So even though this match is kind of out, it's still exciting with the front 6. We don't get very many 6-baggers.
No, I wonder if he's got a chance. I wonder if he's eligible for that extra 1,000 once match play starts. I don't know. I have to ask.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's a qualifying hole. I think
We're right behind this pair. That's why we're whispering.
And way to go, Mike.
There's the cloud.
Way to go.
Well, maybe he'll pick it up. Well, that's nice.
Very good verbiage.
Yeah.
Steve, thumbs down. Really need to work on your shot making. There's a coach in every corner. I love it.
Mary, I actually don't know the answer to how many lefties have won the Bradley. We can try to figure that out, but there's going to be some of those people on that list that I don't know if they're left-handed or right-handed.
Well, Lambert's won it 3 times.
Brad Snell, Gary Hancock, Bob Belmont.
I'm just going to work backwards. Right-hander, 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 left-hander, right-hander, right-hander, unsure on Anthony Jordan.
Anthony Jordan, I don't know that. I don't know if he's right-handed or left-handed.
Right-hander, right-hander, left-hander, right-hander, right-hander, left-hander, right-hander.
No, Bob Belmont's left-handed.
Oh, you're right. I read that as Bob Benoit. It's late in the day. Vogelsang.
Right. Gary Hancock's left-handed.
Lambert, left-handed. Ted Hanna's right-handed. George Pappas.
Right.
Bob Belmont, left.
Left.
Brian Graham.
Right.
Tracy Lamberth.
Right.
He's back-to-back here is Gregory Short.
Not sure on Gregory Short.
Kretzer's right-handed. Mark Fairchild.
I don't know on that one.
Alan Bishop.
Alan Bishop's left-handed.
Dan Swiger.
Don't know on that one
Rudy
either.
Roy.
Yeah, all those back there I don't know.
Yeah. There you go. It's more righties than lefties, but there's some left-handed winners in there for sure. Oh, my.
That was a pretty outstanding messenger.
Let's look at that again. Look at this. Kyle Troop. And the pin just stands. Well, today's just not Kyle's day. I have no other way to put it. Frustrating. Keep in mind, prize money. First place $10,000, second place $5,000. Each one of our bowlers that advance are guaranteed at least $2,500, and those that were eliminated in this round receive $1,250.
And we're going to be going directly into the round of 4. I'm actually going to be leaving you for the round of 4. I'm going to be getting out of here and heading home. So JR will be in the booth with you for the rest of the day.
Boo again.
I very much appreciate everybody in the chat, all the questions, everybody watching. Thanks for tuning in all weekend, and thanks for supporting Hammer Bowling and EBI products.
Mama said there'll be days like this.
Thanks to Jason Utchwall and the crew here at Collins Bowling Center, and also to New Center Consulting.
Yep, our other sponsors also Logo Infusion this weekend. Save 20% off with coupon code Bradley17. Brooks Electric Company here in Lexington.
20%.
Yeah, 20%.
That's pretty good. I like that. That's a good deal.
Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey also involved. United American Supply and Fireball Whiskey. Thanks to everyone. Ace Mitchell Bowlers Mart as well. Thank you. Collins family's actually here right now.
Bring Mitch Beasley back to the booth.
Well, I'm already on my way home, but they got me piped into the broadcast here. I got to stop off at the Pilot here in just a little bit, fill up the car, but I'll try to join you a little bit later if you don't mind. Come on. So there we have it. Kyle Troop just finishing up going through the motions here. And Justin Knowles is going to advance into our round of 4. I want to thank Dave Wodka for all of his help in the booth today. And also, if it wasn't for Dave Wodka, I'm not so sure that we would be here broadcasting this event. So special thanks to him. Hope he has a safe trip home. And now Kyle Troop goes ahead and fills it up there with a strike. When it really doesn't matter. So Kyle Troop bowls 193 if he fills it out here. 232 if Knowles strikes here. So there you go. They hug it out, and that's going to conclude the match play round of 8. We'll be back momentarily here with the round of 4. You're watching InsideBowling.com. All right, let's get some things built here. Let's go.
I like building things.
Let's go over here, and let's go over here. Moving the cameras always is the interesting part of all this. JR, we do the best we can, try to get everything level. So here's our shot that we'll have over there. And we're not too far off here. Let's see what we can do here. Alright, so we got this look here. And I know it's a little cattywampus, but that's the best we can do over there on that pair. And we got this pair here, so. Couple of balls on each lane and we'll get going. Mike Flanagan, JR Raymond here with you. We're glad you're with us. Everybody watching the Bradley Open this weekend. It's always a good one to come bowl, huh, JR?
I enjoy it. I like that they actually changed it a little bit. Bowling on that flood kind of.
Bye-bye. Travel safe.
I like bowling on the flood too, but you know, a change in pace is good as long as the scores don't go super high.
Yeah, just come on over, Chris.
Chris's head looks shiny. Yes, it does.
He is part of Team Glare. I'm also supposed to give a shout out to hashtag Team BCD.
Getting started here for match number 1 for Graham, and he washes out first shot.
Oh, they're getting started over there?
They're getting started over there. That is his first ball in
All right,
action.
well, here, I'm going to do a reset here as if we're starting over here. Okay, everybody, welcome to the 2017 Bradley Open. We're down to the round of 4. I'm Mike Flanagan, joined by JR Raymond, and Chris Vai also is going to join us now here for the round of 4. Welcome, gentlemen, as we get started here. It looks like the Graham Faw match has already got underway against Brian Dennis, and we've got an open for Faw. And now Dennis just set the lights out over there and turn out the lights. The party's certainly not over, but Chris and JR, welcome to the booth, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hi. Where's Beth?
I thought they got started a little early over here. They weren't ready for that over there.
So maybe that did count because he actually did shoot at it.
Yeah. So here's Chris Hester starting this match. We are down to 4. Hester taking on Justin Knowles. Thanks, Kyle. Have a good one, buddy. Kyle Troop just eliminated, coming by to say goodbye to everybody. 2017 Bradley Open is brought to you by Hammer, New Center Consulting, Logo Infusion. You can save 20% with coupon code Bradley17. Also want to thank Ace Mitchell Bowlers Mart, Brooks Electric, Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, United American Supply, and Fireball Whiskey for their sponsorship. Without the sponsors, we wouldn't be able to pay out the money that is paid out at this event. Thanks for all the support.
Ace Mitchell. That there Jeff Mraz guy, he's a pretty swell dude. Pretty swell.
I actually had the opportunity to work for them for a year while I was up at school.
Really?
I tell you what, they treat you like family up there.
Yeah. A lot like Turbo then.
Yes.
Must be a Mraz thing.
I think it is.
Lori married into it, so
yeah,
that might have changed her.
Great family.
Second frame for Graham. That head pin, and it's just an elusive little creature.
Yeah, the 2-4 right in the face almost gets a strike out of it.
Solid one pin. See if you can convert.
And a washout down on 27-28. Chris, tell us a little bit about the oil pattern and what you faced this week here.
Well, I am convinced that they oiled them backwards. I don't know if that actually is the case.
It's like
from
that
the pin
every
deck forward?
Yeah, because what I was seeing was a lot of early hook, and then they got super tight down lane. So if you tried to move away from the hook, then it just went through it. But if you tried to stay on top of it, it just kept hooking earlier and earlier.
Have you bowled this when they were a flood before?
Well, last year was my only year I bowled it, so they were still, I guess, considered hooking last year, but they were definitely a lot tighter than this.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would agree. I mean, I think it's just the characteristics of what this house is. This place is just traditionally a early hooking place, and it shows. Your ball wants to start immediately and then almost bail the rest of the way back down the lane. So.
And I think it was, 4 feet shorter this year?
No, they didn't change the length.
No, they didn't? Oh,
no,
okay.
Didn't change the length. They just changed the type of oil and the volume a little bit. They went to a fire oil rather than whatever they were using before, and then they just lowered the volume a touch.
Yeah, and what I saw, my first block, I bowled the A squad, and I was able to play, up 6-7 for 2 or 3 games, and then just kind of parallel in off of it.
Right.
And I tried that last night, and it had no chance.
Yeah.
I mean, I never got left of 13 with my feet during qualifying, and I started on 23 last night. So they changed quite drastically.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday play right of 20, and today I couldn't play left of 7. I mean, it's just how it was. I mean, in this place, I keep telling everybody this place isn't hard because the pattern was hard. This place is hard because the surface is so old, and the topography here is ridiculous. Like you go to one pair that is 10 tighter than the pair you were just on before. So I mean, you're literally bowling on a different pattern every single time you move to a pair. I mean, it's hard, it's tough. Same characteristics for the most part when you're trying to play the pattern, but if you don't figure out the topography quick, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and I think there's one pair I hit earlier. I think game 2 today, or game 3? No, game 2 today. I ended up throwing the last 3 or 4 for 210, but on the left lane I was standing on 46, and the right lane I was on 13.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so I mean the left lane was so early that I had to get away from it and kind of play a little bit of a fallback, and then the right lane just never picked up. You had to get a little bit closer to it and just kind of roll it up the track.
Here's the Hester replay. Pretty good pin action over there on the 7 pin. Remember, twister pins, folks.
Yeah, you'll see a few of those.
Once again, if you're just joining us, J.R. Raymond here in the booth with Chris Vi. I'm Mike Flanagan, 2017 Bradley Open. We're happy you're with us. Just rolled 500 viewers. Appreciate the thumbs up, the likes down below. Help us with our ranking on YouTube. We're the #1 streaming sports show right now on YouTube at this particular moment. Thanks to all the people in the chat for interacting, commenting, and liking our broadcast. You know, Hester's kind of a man on a mission. He's got an opportunity here to make a statement.
I see what you did there.
If he could take this thing, all the way to the finals, this would be a lot of confidence for that young man. He's been struggling a lot of health issues, and he's happy to be back.
Is his mission known or unknown?
I think this one's actually particularly known, but his bowling ball would probably give you the answer on that.
Oh, yeah.
He is throwing the mission unknown.
Double there for Graham. In third and fourth frame, give him a little bit of a lead there.
Our championship pair will be lanes 21 and 22. Each pair that the players have moved to thus far throughout our match play are all freshly oiled pairs of lanes. Justin Knowles with a really good shot there. He bowled 251, I believe, was the number that he bowled to get in with during the last game, and he jumped into the cut number and trying to make the most of it. I consider that guy as a free roll.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually bowled with him this morning.
Yeah, you did. That's right.
And I tell you what, game 4, he goes up, and on the left lane, I think he 6-7'd 8, so the righty version of the 4-7-9, the 8th frame, and then he strikes in the 9th, and he goes up and splits the 8-9, and the 9 moved into the 10 spot.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was a little 20-pin move there.
Huh. Gotta love when that happens, but
Yeah,
you really do see it an awful lot with these pins. These pins do some crazy things.
And end up not really mattering, you know, only mattered for seed-wise, but, you know, if you weren't to shoot the 250, that could have been a tough break there.
Who's the favorite to win right now? Huh. Doug Moss. That's
Graham?
I don't, the favorite, I mean, if you go by, I don't even know. How do you name a favorite?
Well, Graham was the #1 seed coming into this, and he had 404 bowled at him and swept with 214 and 216.
If I'm looking at what I'm seeing ball reaction-wise, I think Graham's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, I think it's a toss-up between him and Hester. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Hester's bowling really, really well. He's he's throwing it really good right now. It's gonna. Lefties are going to be tough to beat either way.
And I think Hester's ball reaction is not quite as good as Graham's, but I think Hester is throwing it so good right now.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
He's throwing it so good that it doesn't matter.
We have a question in the chat. What are some of Hester's health issues? He was battling Crohn's disease and still is battling Crohn's disease and will be battling it for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But he has got some things under control and has got to a point to where things are a little more manageable, but a lot of fatigue through the different things he was trying to fight through it, and some medications and things like that has made it to where he hasn't been able to bowl a whole lot.
Yeah, actually, I know what he's going through, but not quite as severe, but
Almost
a conversion there.
Steve, I'm just here for JR's commentary. Nothing to be seen here.
inside a target there for Hester, but fortunate not to leave a split on that, so staying out of trouble.
So Graham opting to take a re-rack after that Greek church. Maybe just to regroup a little bit.
Feeding Frenzy's always in the chat whenever we're on, and Feeding Frenzy says, I pray the Lord would heal Hester.
I second that motion.
Matt Sanders wants to know, how'd you bowl today, Chris?
Well, I bowled. I finished all 5 games.
Bonus.
Yeah. I think I went 4 under today, and that was with the 240 game. I had a bad start. Then I bowled pretty well after it, but just a kind of a bad start, and I was already in a hole, so kind of put myself into a bigger hole where just didn't have enough gas to make it.
So, okay, Chris, I'm going to ask you a question. In your mind, so going into today, say you're 50 pins behind, do you come in, and knowing that the prize fund gets better as you go up, do you come in with the mindset of grinding, just trying to move your way up, as much as possible? Or are you coming in looking for a ball reaction to get into the top 8 as quick as possible? I mean, what are you after, just improving, or are you after looking for something in a way to win?
Typically, it's mostly a way to win, but on something like this, it's hard to try to go for a 240 look because that's when the 140s come into play. So I don't know. I mean, personally coming in, I was 56 out actually. Coming into today, I mean, you can make up 70 pins in one game. So I knew that there was still a very good chance that I could make it. I just knew I just couldn't shoot myself in the foot the first game, which I ended up doing. But I definitely came in with the mindset that I was going to make the top 8. I don't think that translated into my ball reaction choices. But I did try to make a quicker move left than I probably should have, and it kind of didn't really backfire, but it didn't help me any.
Yeah, it's always a decision you got to make when you're coming in. If you're a little bit behind, you either have to make that decision whether you're going to go for it, if you're going to try and manufacture some good scores right away, or are you going to grind and be patient and hope that they come later to kind of squeak your way. I mean, it's a decision you got to make every time you bowl, and that's what's so hard about this, because you can't see the future. You can't see what the scores are going to be like.
Yeah.
You don't know what people are going to do. I mean, the cut could go down, so the grind mindset would have been better. But and then if you go out there looking for 240 and shoot 150, you shoot yourself in the foot. So I think at all times, I think you kind of look at somewhere in between.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you always keep the grind mindset no matter what the scoring pace is, and you just try to be quick and smart with your decisions.
Yeah, because I know like 190s, 180s, they didn't really hurt you here this weekend. So I was just coming in trying to make some pretty good shots. If I shoot 190, 180, it's okay, and just kind of be patient because I know that I'm able to shoot a 240 or 250 on this. It's just the fact of doing it is much harder than saying you're going to do it.
Right.
So, yeah, I think you're right with somewhere in between.
Greg Burks, were bowlers using more or less surface today? I'd say, I think a lot of people, the more experienced bowlers were using a lot more surface, trying to control the ball reaction and keep it as predictable as possible. I think it's something you kind of have to look at when the scores are tougher. You don't want your ball making a whole lot of big motions, so you try to get it to use up a little bit of energy, and most of the time you're going to try and stay straighter on tougher stuff like this. So.
Yeah, but I don't think it was...
Hester trips out the 6-pin there as a replay.
Yeah, I don't think it was traditional Bradley surface, though.
No, it was not. It wasn't 180 or charcoal, and that's a brutal stone 8 right there.
That was vicious, and they gave him a strike for it. That's how brutal it was.
Huh. Like, you deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah, you deserve that one. Yeah, I think 500 was a lot this year.
Yeah.
500 on your ball.
Yeah, I never went lower than 1,000.
Yeah.
But it seemed like you needed to keep it fresh as much as possible because it did lane shine real quick. And because it did, after frame 5 of game 1, it almost did get to the extreme carry down lane, and the front's hooking a bunch. So too much surface, or not enough surface, just didn't get it to go through the pins, or you couldn't get it to pick up the lane enough. So it was brutal.
And I think it's so, independent as well. based on the type of bowler, of what you need to match up to the lanes. But I think this year was definitely, still a good amount of surface, but I think less surface than a traditional Bradley tournament was better off.
Right. I've never seen people so into boiling. I mean, I like to boil eggs. I will. I'm a pretty big fan of boiling. Depends on what it is. A lot of times when I'm bowling, I do boil over a little bit, get real mad. So,
Yeah. I've seen a few people boil this weekend.
yeah, it was real easy to boil this weekend. I can only imagine what some people other than me were thinking. I mean, I boil my potatoes once in a while too.
Yeah.
If I boil them first and then mash them, they're really good. Put a little garlic and garlic salt and butter. Maybe a couple bacon bits.
Say what's up to Fried Chicken Aaron in the chat down there in Tennessee. And Brett, no, I did not leave or make any more 910s today. But I am 1 for 1 lifetime, and I hope it stays that way.
These matches are best 2 out of 3. You're watching the first game of this 3-game best of match. Down to 4 bowlers.
Sandy says her boyfriend was boiling after the late shift. Yeah, I can imagine. That late block was not much fun. It was tough. So we got Graham with 149 in the 8th, Spare up in the 9th. Brian Dennis with 144 in the 9th on an open going into the 10th. So needs a little help from Graham to have a chance on this match. We got Hester with 167 in the 7th, Spare up in the 8th, bowling in the 9th right now. Strike in the 9th, that gives him 187 in the 8th with a strike in the 9th. Justin Knowles with 93 in the 6th with a double working.
It looks like Graham has won the first game there with Brian split in the 10th.
Brian's reaction doesn't look any different than it did on the last pair.
No.
He's in trouble.
Yeah, 140s, 150s. Not going to win against Graham.
We got a possible 247 to 243 over on 27 and 28. These guys making it look easy out there.
You're really good at doing that. Yeah, Brian not even shooting at the spare, obviously. Just changing balls, trying to find a little bit better reaction for the next game.
It's 150 for Brian. Brian Dennis 150. Graham will go up 1 game to nothing. Graham's going to go first.
Yeah, and actually with that 5 count, Hester won the first game as well.
Gives it a run. Graham with the spare strike will be 188. Thanks, Dougs. Hi, comebackers, the Third Wise Monkey, all of you in the chat. Breeding Frenzy. Good shot for Graham. Be 188 for Graham. He defeats Brian Dennis 188 to 150. He's up 1-0. We'll get going with game number 2 here in just a moment.
Yeah, it looked like Graham went with a ball that has a little bit more surface on it. Maybe trying to get it to slow down a little bit more in the back end. And that lane, he went, Greek Church on that lane and also 6-pinned. We'll see if he sticks with that one or tries to make a little adjustment with the other.
I'm still trying to understand how Justin hasn't tried a different ball. Even at
Actually,
the end of last match and this one,
You
he
know
just has not tried a different ball
Yeah,
on Phil at all.
in practice during the first match with Troop, he threw the red quantum. And it actually looked really good, and he hasn't touched it since. And even there, when the pin doesn't matter,
Yeah.
I feel like he would try something.
I think it's just an experience thing. He doesn't. He's a young kid. Doesn't bowl a ton of stuff. He's bowling more now. He's bowling a lot more bigger events like this, and he's gaining experience, and he'll learn those things eventually.
Well, nothing like being top 4 at the Bradley, gaining experience.
That is, that's a feat right there.
Absolutely.
Chris, how long have you been doing this two-handed thing, and have you ever bowled one-handed?
Well, I started bowling when I was just over the age of 1. So I was not strong enough to pick up the ball and throw it one-handed. So I started bowling two-handed.
See, that's always the excuse for you two-handers.
Yeah, I'm just weak. That's all it is. Yeah, so I've pretty much always been two-handed. Growing up, I had a lot of people telling me that, two-handed would never work. You got to go one-handed and all that. And I actually did bowl for 2 league years when I was, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11. I bowled one-handed. I hated it. Mostly hated it because I wasn't good.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand, why would anybody ever say that two-handed would never work?
Well, I think it was before the whole, Belmonte came onto the scene and before anyone really understood what it was.
Yeah, but even then, when you watch what it creates and what it can give you, how can you ever have the opinion that it would never work?
Yeah, so, I don't know, it was kind of getting to the convincing mode of, my parents wanting, to, I guess, do the right thing, and it was always the whole, the bodies aren't going to last, it's going to be injuries and back problems, knee problems. So they got me bowling one-handed for 2 years, and I ended up stopped bowling for 4 or 5 years. I picked it back up my freshman year of high school. Kids asked me to bowl in a Saturday morning league, and my mom worked on Saturdays at the time, so they weren't there, so I decided to bowl two-handed. Started back up and ended up enjoying it enough to try out for the high school team. And sophomore, junior year, something like that, I started bowling some, the JTBA local tournaments. Just gaining experience that way, and junior gold, all that stuff. But yeah, I've been pretty much two-handed for a majority of my bowling career.
I can tell you I've tried throwing the ball two-handed. And, man, I get some revolutions on the ball, but it goes about 3 miles an hour. So it hits the left gutter hard.
See, that's the problem a lot of people have, which for me, it's hard to understand because I throw it so hard. I have a problem going the other way. I've always had a problem getting it slower. And I've gotten a little bit better, but people always tell me they can't get enough speed. And I was like, you can have some of mine.
Hello, Pat, our bat bowler from Fairborn, Ohio. Dave Wodka on his way home. Drive carefully, Dave. Thanks for the great commentary, guys. People are afraid of change. Coming from, is that your dad or your mom?
That's my dad. I'm assuming that's my dad.
I'd say
it's his name, but we're not sure who's typing.
I'd say that's pretty accurate. People are afraid of change. I mean, you can see that going on now. I mean, look at the whole election thing. And you can, whether you're for Trump or you're for whoever,
boy.
I'm not getting into it. I'm just saying you can see it now. I mean, it's just people are afraid of change. And I think it's something to be said that you get stuck in your ways and people are traditionalists.
Very schedule based, and
Right.
you do something one way, and that's the way you do it.
saw a question in there about asking if I prefer PBA patterns or this. I'm not going to say I prefer either or. I'm going to say that both have their challenges. You can look at a PBA pattern and call it a little bit softer because the scores are higher, but and the scores are actually only higher because of the talent in the field, the way they break the lanes down, and they create a softer environment as the games go on. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a mix, because if you take this pattern right here and you put nothing but the best PBA bowlers out on this, it probably becomes pretty soft after some time too. So it's just like the U.S. Open. U.S. Open scores get pretty high on the burn and later in the blocks. So it's all relative. It's all different. It all depends on who's bowling. In events like this, you get a lot of guys that do come out and like to compete in their local area, who maybe don't have the experience and aren't sure how to play the lanes. So you get a little crisscross going on with people playing the lanes all over the place, and they get a little bit difficult. But no, I don't really have a preference. I enjoy bowling on both.
Yeah, it is truly remarkable how good the guys on tour are, that they can, flat 1-to-1, make it as hard as you want. Game 3, there's going to be some 240s, 250s. It's just,
that's how it goes.
It's unreal how good those guys are.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot.
And they don't get enough credit either.
No, a lot of people see, the scoring pace, and people are averaging 230 and 240, and they're like, they're soft this year, whatever. No, those guys are just that good.
Yeah.
To where they can make them easy enough to create some room down lane to be able to shoot 240, 250.
I'm having a hard time not replying to some of these comments in here, but it would get us on a rant about the president and whatnot.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead.
You said his name.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're going to stick to bowling.
I said I was getting crump. That's all I said. Getting crump up in here. Oh, wait, that's crunk, isn't it?
I think we're all bowling nationals in Vegas this year, aren't we?
Yes,
yes.
we are.
I just don't know when.
Same.
I don't know what date my guys
sometime
picked.
in the month of May, I assume.
I believe that's when we are, too.
There's a saying for that, guys. If you're bowling in May in the Open Championships, you guys know what it is?
I do not know.
April practice brings May brackets.
Ah, nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I will be bowling. Well, you will see me in the month of April down in Arkansas.
Boom doubles?
Yes, sir.
What about IB Open? You making that one?
It's the next weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't see why not.
I wouldn't see why not. Okay, so that means yes?
Yeah, I'd like to throw double negatives in there.
This is the first time we've had you in the booth. By the way, Chris, you're welcome anytime.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Just pick up a headset. Here we usually don't have to invite, but your first time you get invited, and after that, it's just you can put them on whenever you want.
All right.
There's a pretty good question in here, actually. Do you think it's harder on youth bowlers who try to bowl on these modified patterns while still learning on house shots? And I think you mean practicing on house shots and then going bowling events on these patterns. And no, I mean, the only true way to gain experience and to learn these patterns is to go out and bowl on them. That's it. You can't really recreate what you see in these events, because you can't recreate the traffic as much. Because you can sit there and you can practice on sport patterns all you want, and eventually you're going to break them down, and they're going to get easier, and they're just not going to break down, or you're not going to see the transition. And it's just like, so say you have a practice session for PBA Regional. You go and bowl practice. 9 times out of 10, when you bowl that practice session, they seem a whole lot easier than they are, because you don't have plastic balls or anything going down the lane. You don't have, those extra shots changing the pattern as much. So you don't see the transitions, and they seem easier. And that's what happens when you're practicing on these patterns. So no, I don't think it's a challenge for youth bowlers to get good on this. I think it's just a commitment. I think it's dedication to go out and actually compete. And I know a lot of people say it takes money and whatnot, which it does. But I mean, it's just a choice you got to make. Either you bowl or you don't. I hear people complain and say that they just don't have the time and they just don't have that. So I just, what I would say to those people is, I don't want you to take away from the people that do have the time or that put in the time.
I think it's almost the same as any other sport, to where if you practice something harder, the easier stuff will be even easier. So if you're practicing on stuff that, at first you're struggling to average 170, 180 on, and you're able to get your average up to 202 teen, the stuff that you're already averaging 202 teen on, you could be 230, 240.
Right.
So I think it's, the fact of just challenging yourself, and, if you're going to be able to get good on these patterns, then you're going to be able to bowl on anything.
Oh, man. Just watching poor Brian over here. Brian Dennis, he's just trying to put something together against Graham. Graham up 1-0, so if Brian does not win this game, Graham will advance to the finals. Chris Hester up 1-0 in his match, and that's a tough spare right now. 2-4-7-8 covers it nicely.
That's fun. I'm just here for JR's football opinions. You want my football opinion? I think Tom Brady is not as good as what people make him out to be. That's my opinion.
Watch
I'm
the
gonna stick
chat
with
blow
that.
up now.
Yeah, I can't. That's one thing I could rant about is Tom Brady. That bugs me. Like, you watch, he completes 50% of his passes yesterday and throws 2 interceptions, and all I see all over my Facebook page is how Tom Brady should be the MVP. Like, are you kidding me right now? That's just absurd. It makes me so mad.
Well, in another time, not in the finals of this, I will debate that with you on the air.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Oh, I saw a couple things in the
Ooh,
comment.
wow. Roll a 310 down there for Justin Knowles.
Saw a couple things in the comments. First, Bradley asked if I was bowling with Shannon in the Boom Doubles. So yes, I am. We are going to try to defend our title. Also, I want to say hello to Kevin Williams out there. He's watching up in, I'm sure he's down in the St. Louis area still, or Springfield, Missouri, I should say.
Yeah, and all the best to Kevin Williams with this his alternative career that he's trying to do and is living out.
My favorite rapper.
Being a rapper, yeah.
I saw one of the videos that he put for some competition or something.
Yeah.
That thing was pretty sick.
Yeah,
and
and he didn't win. I don't know how.
How do you not win with that?
I don't know. I shared it, told everyone.
I shared it too.
Told everyone that I knew to share it. Somehow didn't win.
That's amazing.
He's a good kid too.
That was pretty crazy. That was sick.
He's a super nice guy.
And I think the other people paid him off. I think they paid the.
Come on,
guy
you're gonna
picking
act
off.
like things are corrupt. There's no corruption in the
I'm
world.
sorry. You're right. I'm sorry.
Things are fair. Everything's the way it should be. Move on. Yes, Brady is a Hall of Famer, of course. Nobody's saying he's not good. I think my only thing is I think they give way too much credit to Brady when it's more the organization. The organization put together, I mean, they just all work so well together. Brady's a huge factor, no doubt. But I think not any quarterback, but any above average quarterback can go in there and win. But back to bowling.
Yeah,
No
so
more
just-
football talk.
Yeah, looking to these matches. Looks like Justin Knowles is up 36 through 4 frames, 37 now through 4 frames, and Graham. Well, he could be up 42 through 7 frames this game. So I think if he pretty much stays out of trouble here, Graham is looking for the sweep. Anything can happen on this pattern, but
Yeah, he's
Just-
on 220 pace already,
yeah.
and the best
Yeah, he
Brian can shoot is 225. 227 pace for Graham, 225 max for Brian Dennis.
And Brian just got up there. He just walked up there, grabbed his ball, and just got on the approach.
Yeah, he pretty much just given up already. That's a good shot, though.
oh,
Wow.
late trip on the 7. I mean, anything can happen on this pattern.
It
you
can.
know, you knew, and I've seen Graham's ball on this right lane on 24. It keeps picking up earlier and earlier, and he Greek churched on it last game. He's 6-pinned a couple times. He's tripped the 6, I think, the last 2 times, or at least in the 5th frame, I know he tripped it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to teach any of your kids, any of the youth, anything when it comes to bowling, it's to never give up. I mean, there's always plenty of wood out there. You can't give up. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, Brian throws that double, man.
Yeah, I mean, that puts a little bit
Still
of
got
pressure.
2:15 left.
A little bit of pressure here on Graham to at least make a really good shot here.
And the other match looks like right now it's going to be going to a third game through 5 frames. Still early, but right now opportunity here to really put some pressure on Chris Hester here.
Another 3-9.
So here we go.
Ooh, wow, he got the 7 to come forward.
Gets the twister.
Wowie zowie.
Gets the twister 7
Take
forward,
a look at that again.
whatever you want to call it.
Love. We'll call it love.
Yeah. Graham and I actually rode down together, and we're roommates this weekend, and we were actually out to lunch, and we were just talking about the twister corner pin forward hit. So he wrapped that one and gave me a little look.
I was wondering why you were still here hanging out.
Yeah.
Wait, you weren't wondering why I was still here?
I know why you're here. You're here in town on business. You're here taking care of business.
That's right. We do work around here.
I'm waiting for Graham to buy me dinner.
That was pretty good.
And
That's
that's the
really
game.
Graham will be bowling for the 2017 Bradley Open title.
WWCD there. Brian Dennis, hats off to you. Brian Dennis is going to receive $2,500 for his efforts. Respectable weekend of bowling for Brian Dennis.
Not a bad couple days' work.
No, I got a little more, little extra money pumped into the prize fund this year. That's awesome.
A little extra money, a few extra bowlers.
Yeah.
Oof. That could have been,
Yeah, disaster
that could have
avoided
been a
there.
disaster there.
Oh, Nelda.
That was identical with the opposite pin standing.
Yeah.
$3:31 p.m. Eastern.
Time check.
Oh boy. What is it? Every time there's a lefty or two in the finals, it's all about that. That's
It's like Justin ditched the spare ball. Decided to hook at that 10 pin.
All right, Graham bowls 236.
solid effort.
So Graham so far in the match play here has bowled 214, 216, 188, 236. Now Chris Hester is up 1 game to nothing. He bowled 223. Justin Knowles bowled 165. Hester looking for 2 in a row.
Big shot here. Ooh. Lucky to get the 6 out there. Just leave only the 4-7.
Brian Dennis finishing out over there. Really doesn't matter at this point. Congratulations to Brian again on a great weekend of bowling.
Richard Allen says they looked walled on the left. I can assure you they are not walled on the left. It's just a different scenario when you don't have as many over on the left side. You don't see the transition.
Yeah, they're able to stay out there a little bit longer. Because I know when I was the first qualifying block, when I was able to stay farther to the right, my look was really, really good. There's just so much traffic out there now.
Yep.
They just start hooking earlier and earlier, and you have to go away from it.
Yeah. I had what Graham is doing right now is pretty much what I had on the right side game 1.
Yep.
You know, so but it just changes so fast because there's so many more bowling balls going down the right side than the left. So
Yeah.
I would definitely wouldn't say that the left is walled. It just doesn't change as fast.
Yeah, and the look out there was really, really good to start, and it just goes away so quick, and they're able to stay out there a little bit longer than, you know, the righties.
It's looking like that match is going to go to 3 games over
Yep.
there.
Watch Hester on this one. He hopped at the end of this one.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a little stick or...
It's not usually a good shot when you hop like that.
There needs to be a sarcasm button because no, I didn't see the sarcasm on that one, but I apologize. I didn't mean to make you feel different about your comment. I was just making sure people knew that it's not a lefty-righty thing. But they would. You know, that would be, there should be, you need to invent that. Invent a sarcasm button. So that way whenever they make a comment on here and it's sarcastic, they can just push that button and it comes up like their comment is a different color or
I
something.
mean, like italicized or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Oh, folds in the 710 there.
Well, with 560 people watching and the comments coming in, you're going to get a wide array of comments. But I will tell you, I appreciate every single person tuning in today. If you have not subscribed to the Inside Bowling YouTube channel, please do so. It'll give you a notification when we go live. And because we don't go live all the time or have a set schedule, it's always nice to have you guys be aware of when we are streaming, and you can come in and participate in the chat with us. It's been a great time all weekend long with all the different guests we've had in and out of the booth, including, I'm still on my way home, guys. Thanks so much for including me in the broadcast. That's Mitch Beasley, folks. And we do appreciate everybody. Give us a like down below as well so we can stay #1 on YouTube streaming right now on the sports channels. All right, so it looks like we're going to go to a third match over here, third game in this match between Hester and Knowles. Best Hester can bowl is 189 now. Be interesting to see if he searches around with some different bowling balls. Feeding Frenzy, goodbye from the chat, and may God bless you as well. Yeah, Hester didn't like that one.
Mike, can you do a Pete Weber voice? It's a good question.
Not really. Not really. You kind of got to get in that zone. Well, yeah, I just can't do it. I don't have it in me.
Once your voice gets a little older, you'll be able to catch up.
Maybe a little rasped. Maybe if I smoke a couple packs a day for a year or so, might be able to get there.
I wasn't going to go there.
Need that rasp.
Mm-hmm. Or you just get sick.
I'm still waiting to hit puberty, get a little bit lower. And I don't know. I think Chris's last few shots, he doesn't look quite as smooth. You mentioned earlier, Chris, that he was just completely making good shots, really good shots, and we've seen him hop a couple times. His timing looks a little off now.
Yeah, I think maybe just losing a little bit of ball reaction kind of is making him second guess it. But he looks like he's trying a different ball here, see if he finds something.
Yeah, and to the question, Josh, at what point do you give up on a game and start fishing for a look? Right now is that point. Once you're mathematically eliminated is when you start. But if you still have the wood out there and the possibility to get there based on what your opponent does, then you still continue to make good shots. But at this point, yeah, it does no good for Chris not to be trying to throw a couple different balls to see if he can find something different.
My guess is he's not going to use that one.
The one he just threw? Why
Yeah.
not? What was wrong with it?
Pretty much everything.
Heavy weapon wanting to know what voices I can do. Well, I do a really good Mike Flanagan.
It is pretty solid.
Yeah, not bad. It's worth all that jazz.
You can get the old
Yeah.
Kermit the Frog here.
Yeah, you can do that.
Welcome to the show.
Not bad. 172 for Hester.
Ooh. And you would think even here, knowing you've already won the match, even if you've won the match, still maybe try something different. With two lefties being on the same pair, they might transition. I mean, this would be the time, if you throw a ball and you get 6, well, okay, it's not the right one. It doesn't hurt you any.
See, and again, Justin's just going up there trying to strike.
Yeah.
With the ball he's been using the whole time.
Yeah.
Granted, he's got a good look right now, so it's not like you're really going to make a change, but you do want those options out there. You want to be able to see what you have in case something does go awry.
And like you said, you can't see the future. So, if you got 70 in the 5th next game, well, now you you may or may not know that another ball is playable.
Or maybe he's a mental player and he wants to just keep seeing his bowling ball hit the 1-2 pocket consistently over and over, and that mentally keeps him stable.
Yeah,
Possibly.
Just like the poll question we asked yesterday about bowling being mental versus physical and all those other great options we had, and mental came into play number one. So who knows? I think I'd be fishing around with some different bowling balls, but
Yes.
I would absolutely.
looks like you
Every
threw a
time.
strike shot there. All right, so it's 235, 172.
And Hester came up and applauded themselves for breaking down that pair.
So here we go. This is it right here. The winner of this game will advance to the finals to take on Graham Fall.
Yes, I know the Muffin Man. The one he lives on Drury Lane. Pretty much the same as his shot in the 10th.
Little bit better. Here's the replay. Notice he sticks the shot, stays down.
And it does look like he's actually pulling it down from the top a little bit quicker than normal. He's not letting it fall, which may be the reason why it's seeing the lane just that pinch sooner. And then again, it probably is because now he is not as comfortable. Just bowled 170. He knows he needs to win to be able to move on to the title match. So.
And is a messenger more common for left or right-handed? Neither. It's an entry level. Your ball going into the pins a certain way. That's really all it is. So depends on if you're left or right-handed. It doesn't matter. As long as your ball's going in a little behind the head pin, typically.
Messengers are more common for people who aren't named JR.
Yeah, you're a little up the back of it to send a lot of messengers.
I send a ton of them in front of the 10.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yes.
And a question here in the chat. What's first place? 10,000. Second is 5,000. 2,500 for third and fourth.
And a date with Mike Flanagan.
There's one of your messengers.
Yeah.
Right in front
That
of it.
is.
Yep, that's how it goes. Can't get mad about it. I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. I just know those are not my typical hit.
Yeah. Are you the trip forward kind of guy?
I used to be. Back in my college days, that was my signature.
Because I've come to the realization, I've also been told, and well, once I was told this, I kind of started paying attention to it. The people who trip fours really don't send messengers, and the people that send messengers typically don't trip fours.
Well, and you know,
It's ball roll.
chicks dig the trip 4 too, so I kind of gear more towards that than anything
Yeah.
else.
See, I
So-
shy away from that.
Yeah, see. No, I'm more of a snowplow or Brooklyn kind of guy.
I will say this. These matches, there's a lot of deliberate deliveries happening.
Yes. I noticed that in the Justin's first match with Kyle Troop. I think Novak and I, our final match last year, I think their third game was the length of our entire match, and we went 3 games.
I think you're right.
But, you know, to each their own. Some bowlers are much slower than others, and it's kind of a comfort level thing.
Some people are slower than others, too.
That's very true. Great shot there.
Yeah, this is becoming what we call a barn burner.
And boom goes the dynamite.
You know, I don't think Chris Hester can ever get a shirt that fits him properly. It's like everything's just a smidge big on him, and I think he's just become accustomed to that. I think that's very comfortable to him.
He needs a schmedium.
Maybe an extra medium.
I'd like to see him in a cycling, with the helmet on,
Yeah.
like racing his bike.
I thought you were going to say a psych jacket.
No. Pulled that one out of the clouds.
Again, that was the exact same thing
Oof. Gets the
as his
6 out.
first frame, except this time he leaves the 4 pin and not the
Yeah,
6.
see, like that's what we're seeing on the right side. It's just the ball starts hooking earlier and earlier, and if he goes away from it,
It
then
will
you s-
never
Then you
hook.
saw he changed balls and kind of tried to go away from it and just never wrinkled
I
in the
think
10th. So
I think the move for these guys is to soften up more or less, or look for a little further down the lane, get your ball to get through a little bit better.
Yeah, I think Justin just kind of sort of did that. You see that ball reading the pattern coming off the end of the pattern, and I saw Graham doing that in his match as well over on 23 and 4. But you do have to be absolutely perfect with your touch and your release.
And I mean, Justin is a little bit further right than Chris, but he, with a higher rev rate, he's able to get his ball around the corner. I'm not sure if Chris were to get on top of him. I'm not sure if his ball would make it around the corner. So that's why he's a little trying to play him straighter. He just needs to find a way to get his ball through the front part of the lane a little bit cleaner.
This tournament's been going on for 38 years, guys. 38 years. It's a long time. Uh-oh.
It's a good break there.
Mm-hmm.
Watch this one again. Let's just see if we can notice anything at all.
It was actually pretty good off his hand, just not direction-wise.
Yeah,
As far as cleanliness and speed, I think it would have been good if it was on target. That one actually would have got through it.
and it just doesn't look comfortable.
I think he more feels the in-between where he's trying to like inches, like move like half-board moves, trying to get it to just belly a little bit more. And it's
a big miss right there.
That is pretty big.
I have a
Especially
replay from earlier in the match. I don't know if it was a good shot or a bad shot. That was a good one. It was a double replay I had earlier today. That was Steve Novak picking something up off the approach. I don't have these labeled, so I'm learning my replay screens.
Yeah, but if you notice that spare shot that Hester threw actually motioned pretty well and, pretty much ran over the 9-pin.
Cecil Wilson was actually the first winner of the Bradley.
1979.
Woo. That was just sick nasty right there.
You know who else won in 1979?
Do not.
America.
America.
It's the year I was born.
America. Oh, jeez.
You're old.
You are
Thank you,
old.
Chris.
You're old.
Thank you very much. Ding, ding, ding. This just in. Do me a favor, JR. Turn that number 3 slot all the way down and take care of business for me, will you? It's a good thing JR's between us, Chris.
Hey, when I'm going to bowl tournaments now,
Yeah.
I feel like the old guy.
You do?
I was just out at trials, and luckily I was the youngest on my pair the last game or the last day. I think maybe even the second youngest, but
And how old are you?
24. I'll be 25 in 2 months.
Shoot, how do you think Rob Gottschall felt
Yeah.
last year?
Right? So we another great shot
Wow.
there. After the team was selected, I'm looking around at at my teammates for
Yeah.
2017, and I am older than more than half of Team USA. I thought that was a very interesting fact, and it's unbelievable to watch some of these kids throw the ball now.
Well, I think Chris Barnes pulled a muscle in his back walking up to take his medal around the neck, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's only because he left his cane over by the chair.
Yeah, we have a team doctor, and only for him.
It's closer.
Just can't get his ball to go through the pins the correct way. Needs to figure out something quick.
I don't usually play any sort of favoritism in a match because it's just not a good thing to do. But there is something about Chris Hester and just knowing his story that something inside had me pulling for Hester here today. But I will tell you that
He's got his work cut out for him.
Mr. Knowles here, Justin Knowles, has shown up in a big way today. Every time he's needed a game to advance and make it in, he's done so. And Chris, like you said earlier, you crossed with him.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's got some major game.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, anytime you shoot 250 on this pattern is impressive, but knowing you need 250 to make the cut and doing it, very impressive.
What is this 250 you speak of?
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know. I saw other people doing it.
Yeah, 251.
Fred says, easy on the old guys. Now, if I did that, they'd think I didn't love them.
So there's a WhatsApp group for our social media with Ebonite International as Hester misses that 7-pin, and some folks were asking about what was going on with the Bradley, some of the sales guys, with Ebonite International, and Tyson Brannigan was asking, hey, what's going on? How's Hester doing? How's Novak doing? Different guys like that, and he said, thanks, Mike, for the update. I said, you bet, we have 3 lefties left. And now Jason Couch has just chimed in, and I thought this was worth sharing on the air. He says, I said, there's three lefties left. He says, as it should be when they are tough.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That guy.
He was sitting there waiting. He was just waiting to reply. Splits the
That's
8,
just
9,
dirty.
4 in a row. Yeah, he's looking awfully good, and Hester's going to need quite a bit of help if he wants to come back in this
It's
match.
like you said earlier, Chris, you needed an endless 10th frame, and Chris Hester might need one in this case as well.
Yeah, I was still looking for the entry fee, but it didn't really matter. I 9-pinned second ball in the 9th or in the 10th, so my entry fee would have went to waste.
Dick Allen says mercy rule.
Is that the Dick Allen, do you think?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm serious. He was in yesterday.
What did he commented something that I replied to.
Yeah, you did. You said
And
Richard Allen.
I actually said Richard Allen.
Yeah, that
Not
was,
even thinking about
that
it.
was the sarcasm remark.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
was
that's
really him.
right.
Yeah, it was him.
That's right. Now I understand the sarcasm. part
Yeah,
of it.
we get everybody in here, man.
Attaboy. The couch dropping some truth.
We get the celebs.
These guys are so bad. I don't get it.
And
This game's not over, though.
Yeah, Deshaun thinking Hester needed to be a little bit inside of Justin. At least from what I saw, trying to move, parallels, at least on the right side. I'm not sure. I haven't seen too many lefties that far, but get to the right side, the middle's hook. It's like you can't really just jam it in there. You have to get it going away from the pocket.
There you go. That's a ball change.
Yeah, there's a little ball change.
You still got 223 out there.
And once you start getting the ball going away from the pocket, it's bad news.
Yes, on this pattern for sure.
Yeah, so
And with 223 out there, Knowles, if he goes strike spare all the way out, he's got 229. But there's plenty of chance to lose some count and whatnot, depending on what he does. So this is far from over. And that goes right back to if the wood's still out there, never give up.
yeah, and if he makes this ball change and throws a double here, that's huge.
A little pressure on Knowles can go a long way being so young. It's got a hook. Get it. Ooh. All right, now his chances are slim. But, again, still not out.
Max score 203.
Anything can happen.
And I actually thought that was a fairly good shot. I expected that to hook a little bit more than it did.
I thought it was a little left of
A
target.
little left.
Okay. 7th frame coming up. John Knowles. strike here will take him just one step closer to the final against Graham. Out the window.
It's a lot of bait.
If he does that again, this gets real interesting.
Yeah.
It shows 7 on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Is the 9 behind it?
I don't see it.
I don't see
I
that.
can't tell. No, I don't see it. I think that just needs a score correction.
No, there is.
Oh, it is.
There is from my angle.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Wow, it looks offset.
Oh, yeah, that is the pair. That's the pair that the 9 actually does sit a little bit to the right. Because I remember I was bowling with Ken Abner earlier, and he mentioned it, and he 9-pinned twice on that lane. I think that was a pair. But there might be a couple of them that do that.
All right, covers it up.
Maybe it wasn't that pair. Don't get my memory going. It never works.
Yeah, there's some tricky racks in this building as well. Some little bit of some gaps in between the 2 and the 4 I've seen.
There's also 4 disco balls in here.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
Should we turn them on for the finals?
That would be great.
That would be awesome. Get a little Ernie McCracken, some Kingpin entrance.
Or we could come out here and we could reenact YMCA, guys.
There we go. Who's going to be the sailor?
Oh.
Chris. Chris will be the sailor.
Asking if Graham sitting and watching will affect him.
He's
Well,
young.
1, he's young. 2, he just won the Players last year as the 1 seed.
Yeah.
So he sat and watched and then bowled live on ESPN. So
Let's say he's going to be all right.
I think he'll be okay. Now, anyone else? Maybe.
It all depends. Quite a bit of bowling this week, so if he does tighten up a little bit, you never know.
We did have a baby screaming in the background, but
It was not me.
staying clean here for Justin's going to be just about all he needs. Chris Hester now has to double here in the 8th and the 9th to have any chance at all. But even with that,
It's not looking good.
yeah, it's about all she wrote. But hey, we're going to have a great final here, guys. Couple of lefties. I could actually probably put my camera, instead of having to put it on lane 23 for 21 and 22, I could probably actually put it on lane 22 itself over on the right side, since all we're going to have is left traffic. Be the first time ever in the history of bowling where you'd actually put a camera on the lane. I would just hope they wouldn't leave anything on the right side.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be okay with Graham. He hooks at him.
Yeah, you're right about
Well,
that.
and now Justin seems to have abandoned his spare ball as well. So you might.
Yeah,
you
could
might,
be okay.
Yeah, you might be all right.
Yeah. So Hester with a really good shot in the 8th.
I mean, you never know. Open. On 9th and 10th. You're talking low 2-0 to high 190s there, and then anything can happen.
And see, that was just a little bit right of his
And
last shot, and
That'll
just
be
picks
all
up so early.
she wrote.
It's going to do it, but I'll tell you what, this is a heck of an improvement, and it's got to feel good for Chris Hester to be in the Final Four of a bowling event again with such a talented field like this.
So not just any bowling event. This is one of the toughest to get, to even the top 8. But to win a match, that's very, very respectful.
Mickey Coffey says, I personally know Chris Hester, and I can tell you he's fought hard to get where he is right now. He's an ultimate competitor. Much respect for Chris to what he's had to battle to get here.
Amen.
Couldn't agree more.
Justin Knowles is going to advance and bowl for the title at the 2017 Bradley Open. Justin Knowles versus Graham Faw coming up here on Inside Bowling. JR and Chris Vi, myself, will bring you the finals. Best 2 out of 3 is what they do in the finals as well here.
And they're throwing in the flag. They're not finishing. Seeing as they're changing pairs, it's kind of irrelevant to finish the game.
Okay, so they're not even going to finish the game. That's never really happened on our live stream before, but I completely get it and understand. When we come back, we will have the final here in just a few moments here on Inside Bowling. 2017 Bradley Open. Mike Flanagan here with JR Raymond and Chris Vi. I'm happy to have you guys with us. We're here for the championship match. Best 2 out of 3 here. We're getting a look at our first bowler here in the championship match. We have Justin Knowles taking on Graham Faw. Both lefties, guys.
Great shot to start. That looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty much used that ball the entire tournament, so he obviously is going to stick with what's been working and isn't going to change anything. I don't blame him. So Graham's going to go a little bit more direct, and that's not a very good start for him.
7-9. Looked a little firm.
It did look pretty firm.
Is this a PBA regional? No, it is not.
Although with the talent that was here, you could say
Yeah.
it was close to one. We were missing quite a bit of the big names. A few of them being out in Japan. Graham opts to go for the count, get his 2.
Now, would you try to go for that frame 1?
No, yeah, I think frame 1 of the first game, yeah. I think I just go for count. I don't think I go to try to make it. Or, depend. If I lost the first game and I leave that the first shot of game 2, I'm probably throwing a different ball, looking for ball reaction.
Ooh, little helicopter
Disgusting.
messenger over the 7.
Yes. Richie, I believe I agree with that. I wish it was PBA affiliated. Then again, if this sport was like a whole lot of other sports, these guys wouldn't be bowling for money right now. So it's just one of the benefits, the bonuses that bowling has in the game. Although you could look at it both ways. You could look at it as a hinder, or you could look at it as a benefit. Some say that if there was not money in the amateur ranks, that the money in the PBA ranks or the professional ranks would be a little bit better. You could make an argument for that.
Say he left him hanging. He thinks he's playing mind games.
Yeah, I think
I just think he missed his. Like, I don't think he saw it.
You never know. I mean,
Eh.
I know some people that just they stick to themselves. They don't like giving high five, or they call it playing patty cake. You know, it's like
Yeah,
we're going to throw a lot of shots today. I don't feel like playing patty cake. I mean, I've been told that before. I'll say, well, yeah,
Say, personally, knowing Graham, I would say that he just didn't see it.
right.
But I guess you never know. I've never bowled against him for a title, so.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of gamesmanship.
No.
Here's a look at Graham hanging out.
The Canadian red and white on today.
$3-9. First place today is $10,000. Second place, $5,000. $5,000 on the line here at the 2017 Bradley Open, largely in part to the great sponsors here: Hammer Bowling, New Center Consulting, Ace Mitchell Bowlers Mart, Logo Infusion, Brooks Electric, United American Supply, Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon and Whiskey, and Fireball Whiskey. Thank you for your sponsorship. Both JR and Chris competed this weekend at the Bradley Open.
You could call it that.
Bradley Open. It was a big weekend. 198 different entries, different bowlers into this tournament. We're down to 2.
Do we have a number of actual how many different bowlers?
Yeah, that would be the number.
It is 198 different bowlers.
Different bowlers, yeah. Because you could not re-enter until
Yeah,
the re-entry
Desperado,
squad.
Which Desperado's huge. Over 30 bowlers, right?
Yep, almost 40.
That's impressive.
It's a good shot.
Yeah, great shot. Great double after the split in the first.
Double to take a 1-pin lead.
I really like Graham's follow-through. You could see it there on our last shot. We do have the news team here as well.
Is Ron Burgundy here?
I don't see Ron.
He's in San Diego.
Wow. Keeping it classy.
Oh,
Buries it.
triple there.
Take a look at the replay here, guys. What do you see?
Strike. I'm going to bet he strikes. Yeah. See, told you.
He's throwing it awfully good this weekend.
I don't think I've ever seen him throw bad.
Yeah, I'll agree.
I'm sure he's had some finishes that he hasn't necessarily liked.
Sure.
But yeah, continues to throw it good.
Yeah, I mean, he throws it great. It might just be lane play, ball choice, something like that, but he executes it very, very well.
Look at the two-handed style. Josh Knowles.
Definitely right off his hand.
He definitely looks pressed a little bit already.
Yeah, I think the three-bagger from Graham, you know, if it's, you know, I don't know him personally, but I'm sure this is one of the first big title he's bowled for. And, you know, you got a PBA major title holder coming out, throwing a triple on you early. You might start thinking a little bit. Is he holding a flip phone? Yes, Graham does have a flip phone as his American phone.
America. Yeah. His experience coming into play here. I mean, granted, that's not a very easy spare.
No, especially on this.
But you got to hit the one in front.
So you said there's a flip phone?
Yes, Graham does have a flip phone.
Graham has a prepaid flip phone for when he's in America.
He's very good at
America.
very good at T9 texting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
T9 texting, I got it.
Very quick.
Oh, Canada.
Yeah, it's pretty funny to see him pull out his flip phone to text somebody.
Jamie says, I'm a flip phone user. I'm sorry for your inconvenience. I remember when Mike was a kid and he had those big phones with the antenna.
Oh, yeah. Take another look at this. Stuffed 8-pin.
And see, even I thought that was right off his hand still, but it still held line and at least got to the pocket. I think that's going to be another thing coming off a missed spare, and you know, whether he threw it well or not, you know, leaving a stuff 8 just kind of gets in your head a little bit even more. All right, so Justin has 63 in the 4th, spare in the 5th. Graham with 9 in the 1st and 3-bagger after that.
Eric, I think I don't know, but I'm pretty sure phone plans and whatnot are a little different in Canada than they are here as far as whether they only pay $10 for international. I'm not. Don't quote me. I have no idea how it actually works. Yeah, here if you're with Verizon, I believe there is a data plan you can purchase.
Yeah, I believe if you're in the Americas, North Central America, go to Canada, Mexico, stuff like that, it's like $2 a day, and you can use your regular plan, something like that. I think it's $10 a day overseas, European countries.
Right.
Graham covers the spare that Justin could not. $85 in the fourth, spare in the fifth, gives him a 22-pin lead. What match are you watching? This is the final match. Game 1, best 2 of 3. Great shot there, gets the 8 out.
What is it that Randy always says on the PBA? Justin looks like he's a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest right now. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think that is it.
Or at least that's what he said when I was bowling Simonelli for the title over in Chicago.
22-pin match. If Justin can strike here, if you do the TV math, he's down by 32.
Final match of the 2017 left-handed Bradley Open. Oh, boy. It's a little closer. Oh, trips out 6-8. Pretty good break there. Maybe just a break to get him going.
Yeah, that could be as much physical break, that could be a mental break.
Ooh.
Need some nose hair trimmers. These things are starting to bug me.
Oh, my.
You're getting me, man. I feel like just hanging out, tickling my underlip, My upper lip, underlip. That'd be tough.
Can somebody send JR a private message to help him with that, please?
I think your wife would say something if it got to your bottom lip. I think she would take care of that before it got that far.
No, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, a couple good breaks in a row there.
Yeah, big double.
That's
That'll
big.
get you into it.
That's real big.
It's looking like actually his ball reaction has gotten to be too much on this pair.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like this pair hooks a little bit more for him, so it's kind of hindered him a little bit.
Definitely earlier. And see, that comes into play where, maybe last match when you already had it locked up, throw, a different ball and see if you can get it through the front a little bit cleaner to know now if your ball's hooking early that you can go to something that's a little cleaner.
Mm.
See, Graham definitely had something all week that nobody else had because he can get it to 2-3 down lane and it still hooks. If my ball ever touched right of 5, I might have hit the 10 pin in the face. So it was a little different, but he also uses quite a bit of surface on his bowling ball too. You just missed that.
Oh, wow.
So that's a big turn of events right there.
Yes, it is.
Definitely don't typically see that from Graham.
And
He's normally a very good spare shooter.
It's not a mistake you want to make, especially when you got an unexperienced kid.
Match is even now.
I'm sorry, I don't want to call him a kid. A less experienced young man, gaining experience as we speak. Helps his confidence a little bit there, seeing a miss and getting a couple of breaks before that. Which you could look the opposite way. Could have hindered Graham's mental focus, seeing those breaks go against him.
Comes back with a great shot, though.
Shot was perfect. We'll take a look at it again. This is how you want to do it at home, everybody. Stays down till the ball hits the pins, turns around, bada boom.
Robot action.
Tell you what, Justin could take a 10-pin lead here with a strike.
Justin Knowles looking for triple.
Wow.
Trips the 3.
3 amazing breaks.
Here we go. We'll look at that break again. Follows through. Waits for it. Boom.
What do they say? Ride the wave?
Well, Justin, how old is Justin? Early 20s?
Not sure.
I think he's early 20s.
This is my first look at him at an event.
I've seen him I know few events. He's a Northern Michigan guy. Goes down to the Grand Rapids area quite a bit. He is a younger cat. So I'm not going to call him an old man. Sure.
I would guess him around my age.
How old are you?
I am 24.
I think he's a pinch younger than you. I could be wrong, though. Oh.
That one there just
breaks and lets it go.
did not get back.
Yeah. Got to take advantage. I mean, I know you get 3 in a row. That's enough taking advantage of breaks, but you got to capitalize on them. Make good shots after it.
Well, those parlays are pretty big.
You got to
Yes,
hit the
very,
head pin.
very.
You know, I've never even thought of that, JR. Strikes or parlays.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, in all my time bowling, I never thought of strikes as parlays, but they absolutely are.
Yep, 100%.
It just, once you get above a 3-teamer, they don't pay out anymore. That's the part that's frustrating.
A little irritating.
All right, so he gets 3 there. Gives him 167 in the 9th.
So if Graham strikes out in the 9th and 10th, 223 for Graham, which would force Justin to double in the 10th.
Justin can only get to 197.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, I added an extra frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call. Good call. I thought there were 2 frames left
yeah.
on both sides.
He didn't pay the entry fee for the endless 10th.
Yeah, that's right.
This is not Amish bowling. We don't get 15 frames.
That looks pretty good.
Looks
They're
really
solid.
good.
Gets the 7 out that time.
So any mark will win.
Yeah, it sure will. For Graham.
Well, yeah, good count. Good count, Mark.
So this is a best 2 out of 3. Remember, everybody, we're glad you're with us watching. Almost 600 viewers. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for all the subscribes this weekend. Thanks for all the chat comments.
Ham bone. Where did that even start? I remember hearing the first time
That
somebody
was the-
called a 4-bagger a ham bone.
That was Rob Stone, right?
I think
Yeah.
I almost threw something at the TV.
He started that.
Oh,
That is not good.
That's bad count and
Terrible
not
count.
very makeable.
look at this ball go through the pins again.
That-
Oh,
Right off his hand.
just
So
4.
that flips the table and will make
Where
it
he-
to where,
He doesn't even need to double now.
no, he just needs a mark in good count, depending on how many he gets here. Yikes. Giving
Graham
it a
gives
run.
it a run.
It's 3.
3 on that makes that final score 181. So yeah,
Needs a mark.
just any mark is a winner. Any mark stay behind the foul line. But again, experience comes into a big play here. So even though it's just a mark, he's up there shaking.
That's what a difficult lane condition will do.
What was worse, ham bone or 60 feet to success? I think they're both terrible. Oh, I don't know. Ham bone's worse. 60 feet to success is, okay. Here we go. That's way
Oh,
left.
that's left.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
gets
very,
the 7 out.
Very fortunate to only leave the 139.
Although I can't tell you how many times I've seen the back pin left on this while shooting a spare.
Yes.
Especially this week. Although his ball is hooking enough down lane. Right.
Yes, Amelia WC, I am shaking here watching bowling. You are correct. he meant poo.
Maybe.
It's a very good
Covers
spare.
it up.
Very good spare to take game one, as long as he stays behind the foul line.
Yeah, Justin Knowles going to put himself in position here to just need one more win against Graham Fall to take home the 2017 Bradley Open and $10,000. When I looked at the sheet prior to the tournament, I looked up and down the sheet at no time. I just skipped right over Justin Knowles. I've been very impressed with his game. Two-handed style up the left side of the lane, and that's going to do it right there for game number one. 187 for Knowles, 181 for Graham Fall. And we'll see if Justin Knowles can take that gift-wrapped present from Graham Fall and run with it.
That last shot in the 10th there looked really, really good from Justin. And that might be key going into the second match.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a relief that he had a game underneath his belt there.
The game underneath his belt and throwing one really good shot to finish makes him think that, you know, his look's still there. So he's still got the ability to throw some strikes.
So Graham gets us started now, starting on the left lane. He will finish this match.
Does it
That looks familiar.
again.
Almost the same shot we saw in 10th frame.
I can't tell from this angle, and I didn't look on the screen. I'm not sure if he's missing right or if it's just hooking early. Because this is what we were seeing on the right side, to where it just wanted to go as soon as it hit the lane.
I think he's going to pick this one up. What do you guys think? It's his second try at it here in about a minute.
I think he'll at least get 4 this time.
I think he's getting 4.
Wow.
Or picks it up.
Great call on that one.
Yeah, Flanagan's done this before.
Here we go. Take a look at it
It's
again.
like he
Textbook.
just sees the future.
Well, just like a wrap 7.
Yep, 4 spare.
Yep. 4 spares is good as 9 spare.
I always said, Chris, that it's like a blower 8-pin
Oh,
for
yeah.
a right-hander.
Yep. It's just a bad break is all it was.
Oh, more breaks.
nice.
Very
Yeah.
good break there. Only leaving the 2-pin.
That looks slow.
Where'd it go?
What are you looking for?
Just cleaning house.
Okay.
Spare there.
So all square through one. A little bit different way of getting there, though. That is one thing that I do believe is unfair about the game of bowling, is you go up and you make a single pin spare, or you go up and do what Graham did, and he gets no bonus pins for that. And the degree of difficulty was much higher.
Yes.
But he did make that for himself.
But you could also look at it as he only got 4 on the first ball, whereas Justin got 9.
That's true.
Good shot.
Yeah, great shot there.
Justin Knowles, if you're just joining us, he's up 1-0, 187 to 181 over Graham Fall. Graham had that match in hand and went 4 through the face, and now he starts this game with 4 through the face. Oh, man.
Unbelievable.
Does he make this one?
A blower 7-10. Here it is, guys. Look
So
at this. You
quick.
see anything here? Keep in mind, twister pins here.
That was like a flat 7 with a wrap 10.
Yeah,
Wow.
That wasn't your typical, half 7-10 there.
All right, so he gets count. Now, mentally, JR, what do you do here if you're Graham? You're down 1-0. You just picked up this huge split. You've gone 4 through the face twice, and then you just make a perfect shot and you blow her 7-10.
I think the only key for him is to just stay focused on what he's doing, just stay on the right path. I don't think he can make any major changes. If he does, this left lane is the only change he can really make, going 4 through the face twice. But again, I don't know if he threw those good or bad. That one looks pretty good. So he makes the right adjustment, whatever he may have done there. And that looks pretty good. Now getting up on the right lane, I don't think he changes a thing. I think he just throws another good shot and hopes they go down.
And I think that shot right there was huge. I mean, you go 4 through the face, and then you go 4 through the face again, and then you get another bad break. Well, not necessarily bad break, but you throw a good shot and pocket 7-10. I could take a toll on you, and you just kind of start losing it and making some poor shots. So that was huge comeback there.
Another break there.
Another trip 6.
Man, it is his day right now.
It really is. Look at this again. Follow through.
Chicks dig the trip 6. And the trip 4. More so the trip 4 than the trip 6.
And Robert, I am neutral in the match. I'm trying to be a good commentator. Although I am riding home with Graham.
Buried it.
Pretty clutch right there.
I'm not sure if he liked it off his hand or if he didn't like it.
I think that was his way of running it out. I think he really liked it.
So he liked that one.
So now Graham is staring at spare triple.
Yeah, strike here is pretty important for his confidence.
Oh
boy.
Left.
Well,
You definitely see him getting frustrated now.
yeah, I'd like to know what was going through his head before he threw that shot, knowing he just 7-10 on that lane. It's hard to let stuff like that go. It's a good spare.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a make sure you don't 7-10 on this shot type of shot, where you're trying to get it to go through the pins instead of just letting it roll.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Another great shot there.
That's very true. Everything always seems to even out in this game. One day you may be getting all the breaks. The next day you will be getting all the bad breaks.
And it's actually really, really funny that I was bowling with Justin, and he goes up and he 6-7-8 or 6-8-10, and then he goes up and stuffs that 9-pin that moves over into the 10, and he's asking, what else do I have to do?
What do I got to do to strike?
And then he goes up in the first frame of the next game and either trips something or something that shouldn't have struck, and he's like, all right, well, there's one payback, and now he's getting a few more than that.
Wow. Oh, almost
that
a 7-10 there.
Another 7-10 there.
So that's an awfully good shot. Do you guys consider that good break or bad break?
On this, I would consider it a wash.
A wash? Okay.
+1, -1 equals 0.
Yeah, because you get out of the split, but you threw it well enough to strike.
Definitely did, but with knowing what he's done on the other frames,
Yeah,
coming in high and whatnot,
I think you take 9 and run.
I think so.
I think that is a good break for Graham.
Yes.
I'll go with that. Seeing that one not fall.
Now, at the same time, remember, we thought the last game was pretty much over. It was Graham's. And then we saw a 4 count. So, as we said throughout the day, kind of the theme, anything can happen. But just the way things have worked out in this tournament with ties and length of the event and things like that, it would not surprise me one bit if we're not 1-1 some way, somehow, with some crazy turn of events here. And it comes down to a 1 game to decide it all. But right here, 6th frame, Justin Knowles working on a spare.
Great
That's
shot.
a solid shot right there.
Good as you can throw it. It's probably the best shot he's thrown today.
You can see his confidence going up and up and up.
Sticks it, comes off the end of the pattern. 4-pin goes right into the 7-pin. He likes it. Remember, this was a fresh condition. This is a fresh pair. It's been sitting for a while, but it's fresh.
Very big double there. Very, very
Great
big
shot.
double.
This guy's good. He's a major champion on the PBA Tour for a reason. Look at this.
And just like that, we are flip-flop from game 1. Graham is down 22 instead of up 22 in the match.
Tell you what, though. First time I saw Justin Knowles out on the lanes as a left-handed two-hander, he has come a long way from that day. He's gotten so much better. That's a big triple there.
Big, very big.
Put a little pressure back on Justin here.
It sure does. And the players are giving each other 5 after good shots.
Yeah, which tells me that that early one Graham just missed. He just didn't see him. He wasn't trying to snub him at all.
How do you guys feel about that 5s in bowling and matches? You like it, don't like it?
He shows good sportsmanship. Just depends on the situation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always for it. I know there's a lot of guys, especially on tour, that do it for a living that would rather just focus and do their own thing. But, you know, I'm always for a little sportsmanship. Great shot there. That's big, coming back after watching Graham throw 2 great shots. It's a big double there.
Notice how his hand's open, too, when he comes through the shot. One more time. It's like he's giving you, he's waving at you. See that? I like that. So Josh Knowles looking to take this thing down. 7 frames in, this one here.
Did they chop the pot? No, they did not. They are bowling 10,000 for first, 5,000 for second, along with the title.
As far as we know.
As far as we know.
There were some comments made earlier. But things change. Wow. That's solid.
That is huge. Like I said, you can just see his confidence going up to the line rather than the early on in the first game.
This reminds me of the roll-off last night. We had to stick around and do a roll-off, and it was 260 to 240.
Mm-hmm.
This is the reason why they're here. They are the best.
It's probably the biggest shot he throws right here. He needs this one for any chance. It's a great shot. Very good shot.
If he strikes here, it's going to be huge. Although Justin still
I think he
controls
wins this
his own
game
fate.
if he strikes in this frame. If he finds a way to strike here, I think he ends up winning this game.
I know this much. Right now, if I had to back any doubles team in the building, it'd be these two together.
It'd be tough to beat right now.
What are the max scores we have here? We have 269 for Knowles.
I don't remember what Graham had.
Ooh, gets the 8 out late. Huge.
This is getting to be big.
Huge.
5 in a row for Graham. Look at that one. Stays down, down, down through the pins, and boom.
I think Graham can go 247.
So pretty much got a tie ball game here if Justin doesn't strike here.
Yeah, 9 count still gives him a slight advantage. Assuming the spare. Great shot.
Holy cow.
These guys.
This is incredible.
These guys are showing up in a big way. We'll take a look at this one again.
So
nine spare
Oh.
strikes a winner.
That's the first little emotion fist bump I've seen out of Justin.
Yeah. 9 spare strike is a winner.
Anything less gives Graham a chance, but if I mean, you got to feel pretty good if you're Justin right now.
Mm-hmm.
The strike puts him in the 250s. That is a bad break
that's
right
terrible
there.
break.
That's a really bad break.
So no matter what,
One more time we take a look.
if he spares us some strikes, I'm fairly certain it's a tie if
Yes.
Graham strikes out.
Correct.
But this is not an easy spare. You got to fit the ball right in between the two.
What do you put the percentages on making this? 30%?
Maybe.
I was leaning 25.
Yeah, it's going to take a really good shot to make this spare. Put that front one back up there, that 3-pin, and all of a sudden it goes up to probably 90.
Oh,
Wow.
huge,
Great
huge
spare.
conversion.
That's amazing. Great shot. Great shot right
Just
there.
eyes it up,
Now he needs
puts it
to
in there. Got a chance.
needs to settle back down a pinch here. I mean, if he fills it up here, forces Graham to throw all of them.
What a roller coaster of emotions this has been.
This has been pretty cool, I gotta say. This has been one of my favorites. It's been a joy sitting here with you guys, and also a joy to just see what's happened. I mean, it was literally a gift wrap win in the first match,
Yep. He's taking advantage of it.
first game of this match, and now, man, strikes galore.
But no matter what he does, he cannot shut out Graham.
Correct. Strike.
But a strike is very, very big here. And that's
Oh.
terrible. Yeah,
6.
so, and that's
But
big.
it's
So now
still
double
Double 7.
7 is a winner.
It still needs to double.
And this is the lane that he 7-10 on that one time. That was a really bad break. So
Yes, and he's thrown some great shots on it since.
you stay aggressive here. It's pretty close.
Oh,
pretty close.
There's the first one.
Vicious messenger.
It's a great shot.
Graham, good follow through. Wait for it. Boom.
That's disgusting.
And just to let you guys know in the chat, Justin did tell Graham good shot on that, so just a little extra sportsmanship.
So strike here will extend the match. It'll be 1-1.
Strike 7.
Yeah, he has gotten
7's
four
not a gimme.
He has gotten
That's
4
true.
twice.
That's a good point. That's a good point, guys.
Needs this one.
And that's the game.
That is it.
So Justin Knowles, he is your winner. 2017 Bradley Open here in Lexington, Kentucky at Collins Bowling Center. Wow.
I would have never guessed he would have thrown one that bad when he needed it.
Yeah, he was.
I would have thought he would have at least give it a really good chance.
Yeah, he was definitely left of Justin, so when he missed to the right, it was a little bit magnified. I'm not sure if it was Brooklyn bad, but you could see the ball stand up early.
Well, JR and Chris, thank you guys for joining me here at the end of the day here for the championship match. It was a great event, 198 entries total. $10,000 goes to Justin Knowles, $5,000 to Graham Faw. I can't thank you guys enough, and everybody's been watching all weekend. It's been part of this thing. Any final thoughts from you, Chris?
I just thank you for having me, and thank you to all of the sponsors and Collins Bowling Center for putting on another great event.
Absolutely. And JR?
I got nothing. Yay bowling. I love bowling.
Yay bowling.
Let's play bowling. I like bowling.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the broadcast team here. I will go down and talk with Justin here in just a few minutes. If you want to stick around for the interview, please do. If not, we'll see you on our next broadcast at Fusion Realtors coming up in February. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll have an interview with the champion here in just a few moments. Thanks again, guys, for sitting in the booth with me.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody watching, everybody turning out. The bowlers, a great crowd, yourself, JR, Dave, the sponsors, New Center Consulting, most importantly, the Collins family that have kept this all going and running. And it's been awesome. It's always a pleasure to watch everyone come down, compete. Just a great weekend. It went really well.
Yeah, we saw growth in entries, Jason. We appreciate you having us here as well. And tell me, I guess coming into this, a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how long you've been bowling.
From Lansing, Michigan. Bowling my whole life. I don't know, 20-some years. Came down not expecting really anything. They said it didn't hook, so I was like, okay, see how that is. And then we had the house shot doubles tournament, so my angles were completely messed up and terrible, but got lucky, got some good breaks, put some strings together, somehow shot 250 to make the round of 8, and I don't know. Got lucky a lot. I made the 5-6, so it was awesome.
You did make the 5-6, and bowling against Graham, do you think you could take down the title bowling him?
I don't want to say fluke, but it was Graham's awesome. I crossed with him a couple times during the week. He's just a great shot maker. I tried, it wasn't really defense, but I tried to get inside of him so that way, he wouldn't have any miss room inside. And got really lucky and bounced off of him a little bit and caught a few good breaks. So no words, really. Thank you, Brunswick, Turbo, Green Quantum, all weekend. Amazing. No words for this, man. It's incredible.
So in your bowling career, is this the highlight of your bowling career so far?
This is definitely the highlight. This is definitely it. I got to do a ball shoot for DV8 a couple months ago, and I thought that was number one, but this definitely took it over. So this is awesome.
Well, it was fun watching you. My final question for you is, I always ask the champions this, you got $10,000 in your pocket. Any big purchase coming up, or you even think about that yet?
My wife wants a house, so I have a feeling that's going to go toward looking for that. My son needs toys, so that'll be it. I might spend a little on bowling, but family first, so that'll help out a lot. Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations again, and we'll see everybody on our next broadcast, Fusion Realtors in Iowa, coming up next month. I want to congratulate this guy right here again, and a great event put on by the folks here at the Bradley. Make sure you sign up for the 2018 Bradley when they have entries available, and you'll be able to check that out on their Facebook page. For everybody that's been sitting in the booth this weekend, for everybody here at Collins Bowling Center, for the tournament staff, and for our champion here, I'm Mike Flanagan. Thanks for tuning in today.